Madison got a crash. It's blocking the right three lanes of 65 southbound before Old Hickory Boulevard. Talbot's Corner, a crash. Right lane blocked 65 southbound there at Trinity Lane. And for some reason, I-40 going westbound is really backed up over there at Highway 70, when you get off to go over to Pegram and Kingston Springs. Highway 70 is then, it is a parking lot getting over there to the state road. So I'm not really seeing what exactly is going on over there, but that is a massive backup there. That is just west of downtown, westbound 40 there to Pegram and Kingston Springs. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, boys and girls. Welcome in, one and all. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day. Happy to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us, whatever time you can give, whether it's 5 minutes or the full 4 hours. I thank you, and thank you. My name is Matt Murphy. I'm the host of this bit of soiree, a little soiree we have from 3 until 7 on a daily basis. It is our 1089th soiree today, and I've enjoyed almost every single one of them. We thank you for tuning in, whether you're on the radio, 99.7 FM, maybe you're listening on Spotify, TuneIn, or iHeart. Perhaps you're on our own app, SuperTalk 99.7 WTN, where the audio is fresh on a daily basis, and they haven't updated anything else for the last year and a half. At least. The Drive is still up there with Brian Wilson, is my understanding. But I digress. It's a good app besides all of that. It's good to see Brian's face. By the way, we mentioned this last Friday. I don't want to start the show the bottom line is this. Brian has updated us on the passing of his beloved younger sister, died too soon at the age of 66. And I just want to reiterate, because we talked about it on Friday and I failed to mention it yesterday. If you've not heard this, Brian's younger sister passed away unexpectedly. And God bless her. God bless the Wilson family. God bless Brian, Dawn, and anyone that came in contact with her, or anybody that's impacted by this, and any one of you. And Brian has noted on his Facebook page and on several other social media fronts that he has heard the prayers and he appreciates the prayers. And we appreciate him and we love him. And I just wanted to say that again. I forgot to do it yesterday, and I wanted to say it again today. I don't know, Ken, if you've had a chance to talk with old Brian, but obviously there's no handling that with any sense of, I don't know what I would do. I can't imagine it.
I haven't talked to him, but I do know they were very, very close.
Oh, yes, they were very tight. Had a great opportunity to meet Brian's sister at one of the wonderful parties, one of the wonderful Christmas gatherings that they have had for so many years out at Wilson Manor, stately Wilson Manor in Watertown. But anyway, it was on my heart to say that as we started the show. I just was thinking of it as I mentioned Brian Wilson and the Drive being up on the app. We're on a different platform here, there, and everywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, Spotify, I mentioned that. And then, of course, there's Talk TV. If you masochist in the listening audience want to take a looky-loo at all of this, give us a look at YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. Those are the 5. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble. YouTube chat goes on the YouTube side of things. Just we beg of you, if you go over there and if you enjoy what you see, or even if you don't, give us the thumbs up, the like, the subscribe. That helps us out. It takes a second of your time, and it means the world to us, and we would appreciate you doing that. What is the current cost on that like and subscribe situation there, Ken Weaver?
Absolutely nothing, boys. Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely not a zilch. Nary a dime. Ken Weaver's back behind the glass, and just behind the glass, controlling the experience and making sure that everything that comes out of our speaker sounds as good as humanly possible. Boys and girls, put your hands together, Jackson!
Did you watch your movie?
I did. You kind of accused me of not watching it.
I was going to put you over my knee.
Excuse me, Ken. So I didn't watch my movie over the weekend. You remember that from yesterday, Ken?
Yes, sir.
And Jackson got mad at me. Okay, that's fine. And I fell on the sword. I apologized profusely. I said I would watch it tonight. Ken, would you care to venture a guess when Matt Murphy popped on old Amazon Prime down in the basement of Murphy-Lago and began watching the 3-hour Interstellar? Would you care to venture a guess as to when that movie started last night in the Murphy compound?
Midnight.
Ken, that's a great guess. It was 11:20. And I stayed up until 3 o'clock because I couldn't go to bed. I mean, the end of the movie was such a good film. I couldn't, I had to wind it down in the aftermath of the movie. It was 3 o'clock when my eyes finally closed and I felt like I slipped off into dreamland, only to be vaguely accused by the eyes of Jackson Williams of lying about watching it, because one of his buddies said, "What did you think about the big reveal?" This was Joseph. He's one of the hens, Ken. You see him from time to time. You know what I'm talking about? The hen.
Did you hear what they're doing now? They're doing that. Oh, no, but I know. But he told me. Well, I said, can we?
All the time. And Joseph says, "What did you think about the big reveal?" Now, we can't get into too much here. We'll do more of this at 6:30 as we get into the full-throated Matt Murphy movie mayhem review with Matt and Jackson.
It'll be full-throated then.
Oh, yeah, no question. Full-throated, Ken. And I was like, reveal? What are you talking about, reveal? And then he said, well, the reveal, and I was like, what are you talking about? And when he told me, I was like, oh, I didn't think of that. It was a, what can I say without, a plot twist? A slight twist in the plot?
It was a big twist.
See, I'm not saying, I just figured that well before it happened. And maybe that's just me. But anyway.
You know the thing that you said surprised you?
Yes.
That didn't surprise me.
You figured that.
Yeah, I figured out the thing.
See, and I kind of figured the other thing is that if we're going anywhere close to like black holes, that's where I kind of was going with that. The other was out of the blue because I didn't want that. I mean, that's a beloved figure in our movie watching. You know what I mean? I didn't want him to be that guy, but I feel like I'm saying.
Speaking in code.
Well, I'm trying not to give away. I don't want to be that guy, Ken. I mean, the movie's only 10 years old after all.
That's true.
12.
The movie's only 12 years old after all. Don't want to be that guy. I found we can do it later on. We'll do it at 6:35 because I don't want to get into my review. But my review, I was not, well done, great, but it's different than yours. So we'll do that at 6:35 this afternoon. We've got lots to get into. Young Jackson, you having a good day though?
Yeah.
Solid?
As long as you watch your movie, I'm doing good.
I did. Yeah, so anyway, he says, you know what he says to me, Ken? He says, when I didn't understand the reveal question.
Yeah.
And I got confused, and then I was like, oh, you're talking about that, blah, blah, blah. Jackson is giving me the stink eye. I can see him. He's giving me kind of the stink eye. Mm-hmm. And he says, who was Dr. Mann? Like,
He's trying to corner.
He was trying to corner. I was like, that was Matt Damon, and I started in on, some of the aspects of the character. Okay. All right. That's fine.
Name 3 brothers.
Who was the guy that played the older brother of Jessica Chastain? Who's that actor?
Timothy Chalamet?
No, he was the young kid. He was the younger kid.
The young version.
The young version. When he grew up, who was that actor?
I don't know.
Wasn't that Casey Affleck? Casey Affleck is what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Star-studded cast. I would recommend more on that on the way. Yesterday's All Skate was a lot of fun, friends. I hope you had a good time with it. We do it every political season where we give an opportunity. I call it an All Skate. Some, call it different things.
That's a great segment.
I mean, what I don't want to do is we can't possibly schedule every single candidate for every single political office on this radio show. And I don't want that to come off as we're too good to cover your local county commission race or we're too good to cover some of the smaller races. Frankly, you have an opportunity if you're a candidate for public office to call me any day of the week and twice on Sunday. You can call me right now if you wanted to. But one day before election season, before election day. I try to dedicate that day to what I call an all skate, where everybody gets on the dance floor and everybody has an opportunity to tell everybody else about their candidacy and to make sure that people get out and vote. I do hope that you get out and vote. I hope you know where your voting place is. School started back for a lot of people Monday, right? Yesterday? I think that's right.
A lot of folks, yeah. Wilson County.
See, I thought on election day, don't they use school systems to serve as polling places in a lot of
That's where
communities?
I vote at a school.
I'm voting at a school. But I want to say that Mount Pleasant went back to school yesterday. Now, I could be wrong. My kids are perfect. They make straight A's. They never bother me at all. I never see them. They never come out of the basement because they don't exist mainly.
They're well behaved.
They're very, oh, man. They never backsass, Ken. Never backsass. They don't pick up poop either from the dogs. But you can't get chores out of them, but they're good people. So I don't know. But voting, vote early, vote often on Thursday. We may or may not have Secretary of State Trey Hargett on tomorrow. Obviously, we're out at Hot Springs Thursday, and we're very excited about that and would love to see you. You can come out. It is free of charge. You can RSVP on 997WTN.com's website. That just gives us a general head count. But you don't have to do that. You can just show up. Now, understand, I get it. There's a lot of watch parties going on. And so people affiliated with Blackburn will be over in Knoxville. And what's his name? John Rose will have his own watch party somewhere around here. And Monty Fritz will have his and all of the other candidates. And, so I get it that there's a lot of places to go and watch these types of things, but we think you'll have a good time with us. We're unaffiliated. We're going to talk to all of those watch parties and all of those people Thursday. I'll be there starting at 3 o'clock. Happy to have you join me at that time. The rest of the gang will join in officially at 6, but I have some suspicions that they won't be able to handle themselves. They won't be able to hold off until 6 o'clock, I'm trying to say. They'll get there early. That would be Chris Hand, Dan Mandis, Chad Benson. Jackson will be there. Jay Willie's going to be in attendance. As Ken Weaver said, he's going to be, what'd you say he's going to be doing, running around?
Brother Jackson Williams is going to be running around out there.
Running around. Making a scene.
He's going to be pressing the flesh for his own gubernatorial run.
Well, that's right, because you know what? Thursday is kind of a kickoff of Jackson for governor.
Yes, sir.
Gravitas for governor.
Gravitas.
If you want gravitas in the governor's office, vote Williams.
You vote Jay Willie.
A big man for big change.
Action Jackson.
Williams, 26.
Don't wear a big old hat.
Oh, yeah, one of them big, tall, wide brim fellas. Actually, I think I've got you a hat, Jackson. Oh, Jackson, I think I've got you one at the house. If I didn't throw it away, Jackson, if I didn't throw it away, I have your hat for your governor.
Why would you throw it away?
It would be it's a symbol of big change. A big man for big change with a big heart. Jackson Williams for governor. I got it. I got it. I'll bring it in Thursday. If I still own it. If I didn't throw it away. But I don't think I did. Because I don't think I would. That's Thursday. Starts at 3. All the gang is out there at 6. And we're going, I guess, until we get these returns in. I mean, we certainly want the majors, right? I mean, I would expect that you'll have some of the races not decided by 10 o'clock. But I would think that even with the gubernatorial race tightening up, even with the tightness that we're hearing about in congressional district number 6, even with the primary in district number 5 being as tight as can be, I would expect that we're going to get most of the returns in by 10 o'clock at night. If we don't, we'll stay until we get all of the returns. I mean, obviously, Mandis will probably have to bug out a little bit early, but I'm there for the duration. I bet you Chris Hand's there for the duration. I would bet you. I don't know. I mean, Chad's got his morning show that he does, the national show, so I don't know if he'll have.
He never sleeps.
But he never sleeps. That's true. Should I pick on Chad and tell him he's our official Democrat correspondent so he can keep up with all the Democrat races over there on that side of the ledger? I feel like I should do that. I feel like that's the thing that I would do. I feel that way.
I've only seen one commercial for a Democrat.
There's that. Have you seen the Independent commercial? The
Hatley fellow?
Yeah, he's running as a. I want to talk about that. What Democrat do you see, Ken?
Jerry Green.
Oh yeah, she's running for governor.
Yeah, she's the only Democrat commercial I've seen.
Chaz Mulder is unopposed, if not virtually unopposed. If there's another candidate on the Democrat ledger, then I would be surprised. But I guarantee Mulder is going to have money. He will get, my understanding is, somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 million from the National Democrats to run the race against either Ogles or Charlie Hatcher.
Oh, okay.
So Mulder is going to be a formidable adversary. Obviously, Justin Pearson is a known commodity, and I don't believe he has substantial opposition in District 9. But I would think that we're going to start seeing some of those ads coming up. Hell, we'll play some of those ads. If Justin Pearson wants to waste his money on Super Talk 99.7 WT, and I say bring it on, I'll do endorsements for him.
Well, that's just extra money.
I mean, right? I'll do endorsements for if you want a socialist, vote Pearson.
That's just a little money in your pocket.
And a little jingle jangle in my pocket. I'm just working for the city, man.
Working for the city, man. Think about going overseas.
Go Longhorns. Hook 'em. I bet you don't like. I bet you would do bad things to that coat that he wears on the sidelines, Ken.
Nah.
No?
Nah, we're just letting them up to breathe. We held them down for so long. We got to let them breathe a little bit.
You know, they got whatever. They got Matthew McConaughey. We got, well, I mean.
We had Toby Keith.
Well, you did. That's true. Golly. Y'all had a good one on the sidelines, boy.
We had a good one.
No question. All right, but so that's Thursday. Y'all come join us on Thursday. Give us a call if you desire, 615-737-9986. If you'd like to be a part of the show, 615-737-9986. There are poll disputes in the governor's race that I want to discuss. And no matter which poll you believe, either way, this thing is certainly tightening up. Marsha Blackburn was said to have a 35 to 40 point lead 3 or 4 months ago. By their own estimates, that has shrunk to 17 points. By some estimates, it shrunk to 4 points, which would put it in the neighborhood of the margin of error. I feel like it is somewhere in the middle, and there's 2 days to go. We're going to discuss with you, Super Talk 99.7 WG. Also, Jackson, I have a question for you about my shirt. You are my official. You brought this up the other day, and I want you to answer it on the other side. You're my official nip checker. Fair?
Yes. To both questions.
Jackson is going to give us an official Murphy nip report coming up next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yep.
When you make the call that so many others have made to Timberland Cabinets to inquire about new cabinets for your kitchens, for your bathroom, or anywhere you need them in your home, you are going to talk to one of the sweetest people that I've ever had the opportunity to meet. Her name is Deb. She works the front desk at Timberland. You know, when you walk into the showroom, sometimes Deb's not there. You'll walk into this beautiful atrium area, and the showroom's off to your right. Office space is down the hallway there. You'll see the hallway. That's where you find the three Steves: Tall Steve, normal size Steve, and Tiny Steve. And Deb is normally there at the desk. And if she's not there, there's a little bell you can ring, and she'll come right up. But when you call her at 931-499-7170, she's so happy to talk with you. She's just a delight to speak with, and she's going to get you into Timberland Cabinets in Columbia to see some of the beautiful alternatives and the beautiful options that are available for you if you're thinking about doing some cabinet work in your home. Also, they can schedule appointments with you in Franklin. They have a showroom in Franklin, and you'll need to call Debbie to get that all scheduled out. They specialize at Timberland in high-quality cabinetry, both kitchen, bathroom, and otherwise. I mean, if you need cabinets in your garage, wherever you need them, they can get them to you. I toured the facility, and I was blown away. Friends, they employ people right here in Tennessee. They make great product right here in Tennessee. We keep our money right here in Tennessee, and it is superior to any of those big box store finds. Anything that you can find in cost and in quality, you're going to find it better at Timberland Cabinets. Go to TimberlandCabinets.com if you're in the market, TimberlandCabinets.com, or call Debbie at 931-499-7170 for Timberland Cabinets.
Now jalapenos might make you sick. Details coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy, The Matt Murphy Show, 29 after the hour. Would love to speak with you. Phone lines are always open on The Matt Murphy Show. 615-737-9986. 615. I give that number often and as quickly as possible just to keep you on your toes. 615-737-9986. You can also hit us up on the Super Text line, same telephone number. Jackson.
Ken, that tease,
Yes, sir.
was that a Chipotle?
Yes, sir.
A Titans player just got over a Chipotle illness.
Really?
Could
Really?
have a local connection to that story.
Well, I've got something on that local connection that you might find interesting.
Oh, it's just like a tease on top of a tease. It's like a double tease. It's like a stacked tease. It's like one of those. It's a tease on top of a tease on top of a tease inside of a tease, beside a tease. I love everything about it. Speaking of tease, let me do a little strip tease. How am I doing over there? See, I've got to monitor my clothing options because you've made me a bit paranoid, Jackson, because I'm worried that you can see my nip.
No, the pocket does you a big favor.
Does it? You get over here. What do you want to do? You want to show it off?
No, just leave it where it is. Let it lie.
Jackson touched my nipple earlier today, Ken.
Goodness gracious. It's not even nincompoops time yet.
Fact. I have a local nincompoop unless it gets stolen. Oh, no, I won yesterday.
No, Ken won.
Oh, Ken won yesterday.
Yay!
I forgot.
Ken, remember who's been letting you go second?
That's not true. It's been Weaver up the rear. Ken has been Weaver up the rear twice.
I remember that.
But I've won 100 times.
Yes. All right, 31 after the hour. More on this poll dispute in the governor's race. Where are you on the governor's race and in the other races? What do you think the tightest race in Tennessee is? I mean, I'm a nerd when it comes to this stuff. It's like, the election day is Christmas Day for me. That's just the way I am. I think I've got an idea on the tightest political race right now in the state of Tennessee, and I think it's up there in there. I think it's in that District 6. I'll just go ahead and pull the curtain back. Time for the news on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Chipotle has removed jalapenos from some restaurants as health officials investigate a salmonella outbreak. Minnesota authorities say 110 cases have been linked to the outbreak, with many patients reporting they recently ate at Chipotle. Investigators believe jalapenos may be the source, though the FDA's investigation is still underway. Chipotle says it replaced the peppers with product from different growers out of an abundance of caution. As of the latest reports, Tennessee has not been identified as one of the states with confirmed cases in this outbreak. Oil prices dropping as President Trump seeks a peace deal with Iran, but gasoline prices are still high. Analysts saying they could go higher. Patrick DeHaan, Gas Buddy's head of petroleum analysis, says Ukraine's attacks on Russian oil facilities also driving up fuel prices.
The loss of refining capacity in Russia is problematic because traditionally Russia is a major exporter of product. Without any product to export after those refineries have been knocked offline, that is becoming another pain point that we're going to have to watch very closely in the weeks and months ahead.
So DeHaan says gasoline prices could climb by the weekend, with the national average hitting its highest level ever at this point in the calendar. However, the average price per gallon has been dropping here in Middle Tennessee, according to Gas Buddy. It's down to $3.64. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says there is progress in talks with Iran and Oman on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. He says hopefully it'll happen soon. Meanwhile, President Trump issuing a warning that he is giving Iran, quote, one last chance to make a deal. And he's not very happy with the nation's largest oil companies. Karen Waugh says the president called on companies to lower prices after they reported record profits.
Exxon and Chevron just reported blockbuster second quarter profits, thanks to oil prices surging higher during the war. Chevron alone made $12 billion, nearly 5 times what it made a year ago. Drivers are paying the price. Gas prices are now averaging $4.09 a gallon, more than $1 higher since the war began.
And again, and Gas Buddy puts it at $3.64 per gallon on average here in Middle Tennessee. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Man, I'm telling you, 65 both directions may be becoming the new I-24. I'm talking about 65 southbound right now in Madison. You got a crash blocking the right two lanes before Old Hickory Boulevard. It is stop and go starting at the Sumner-Davidson County line. Over by the airport, got a crash, Briley Parkway at the KOC Boulevard, Karen Drive area there. I'm Ken Weaver.
Not to get too mathematical with you, but 13% of the population, that's about 1 in 8 people, suffer from dry eyes. Significant dry eyes, so much so that you're reaching for eye drops and you're doing other things with ointments and other over-the-counter remedies. Allow me to introduce you to a person that can solve this issue for you once and for all. That's Dr. Catherine Beckman and the Beckman Dry Eye Institute. Dr. Catherine and the Beckman Dry Eye Institute, located in Franklin on Mallory Lane, treats dry eyes, otherwise known as ocular surface disease, exclusively. And her practice is one of a kind. It's what she does. If you don't know, you owe it to yourself to make a telephone call. And I'm going to beg of you to do that because I want you to get some relief. I've seen my wife get this relief. I've seen relief, and you can see relief as well. You don't have to live this way where you're constantly worrying about your eyes, whether it's dry eyes, itchy eyes, perhaps you don't feel like your eyes produce tears in the proper fashion, whatever it might be. Her practice is the most up-to-date clinic of the type in Middle Tennessee, the only one that I know of. She's been in practice for over 30 years. Her website is BeckmanDryEyeInstitute.com. But more importantly, I want you to give a call. Whatever your question might be, she's not trying to sell you anything. She's trying to solve something for you, and that is your dry eye issue. So call the eye care professional that really cares at the Beckman Dry Eye Institute, Dr. Catherine, 629-239-3161, 629-239-3161, or online at BeckmanDryEyeInstitute.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being here. Whatever time you're able to give, we're certainly appreciative. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. We are guest-free, just me on the show today. Excited about that. We've got Nincompoops coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Lots to discuss, some political, some not so much. I will get into the poll disputes in the gubernatorial race. So apparently there was an internal poll commissioned by or paid for by Marsha's people. And that polling showed Marsha up, according to them, 17 points. And I am told through my sources that they were not going to release this poll. And typically it's been my experience that the Baker Group, led by Ward Baker, just doesn't, and he's running the political campaign of Senator Blackburn. He runs campaigns all over the joint. And Ward and his team are typically, they do these polls for themselves, but they don't necessarily release them to the public. That's kind of their modus operandi. And I'm not saying I have any inside information on this front through the Baker Group, but I do have a couple of people that have told me that it was not necessarily their intention to release, but then another poll came out that showed the race was like within 5 percentage points between Marsha, John Rose, and then Monty Fritz in third place. But both Monty and John seemingly eating into what was considered 6 months ago to be an absolutely insurmountable lead on the part of Marsha. But I think we've all felt this inevitability kind of get whittled away over the last month or so. And I'm not suggesting that Marsha's not going to be the primary winner, and I'm not suggesting that she won't eventually be the Republican Party candidate. As a matter of fact, if you forced me, gun to head, to tell you who I thought it would be Marsha Blackburn. That's the name that I would give you. But I don't for a second believe that it is a fait accompli at this stage. And I don't think Marsha's people think that either. They're not going to say that. There's a reason that she moved that money around so that she could attack John Rose. There's a reason that she's going after this the way that she's going after it. There's a reason that they released this poll. And I'm not saying whose numbers are right. I'm not saying whose numbers are wrong. Y'all know me in polls. I don't think polls are reliable. I think polls are all about who's doing the poll. Now, I tend to trust internal polling more than I do public polling, because on the internal, and this would be, to the heart of this 17-point lead, right? I tend to trust those polls more because these political campaigns need to know where they are. And if it's an internal poll that's leaked, I'm going to trust it more than if it's I call them alphabet soup polls. An ABC Washington Post poll today, a CBS News poll today, an NBC News poll today. Shut up. Shut up with those polls. Those polls are designed to, and I'm just using those three as examples. Typically, my take on polls is well established, okay? Sadly, polling is not intended to get information anymore. Polling is intended to drive a news cycle. And if you do a poll, if you're a media organization and you combine resources with other media organizations or combine resources with polling companies, and you are attempting to drive a news cycle, if your purpose is to get a headline for tomorrow's newspaper or a headline for tomorrow's website, then you've lost your way already. Because if you're telling me that you're attempting to drive a news cycle, then I would suggest to you that you're not only doing that, but you're also attempting to drive a narrative. And if you're trying to drive a narrative, now I have some questions about the methodology of your polling. I want to see the questions. I want to know what's asked and what isn't. However, all of that nerdy stuff to say, when you tell me about internal polls, then I'm listening, because those internal polls are intended to inform the political consulting groups that drive these candidates across the finish line in a way that they know how to act and react. You're going to act let's put it this way. It makes sense. If you're on the football field and you're the head coach of the football team. Jackson, I've got a question for you. So a little bit of a subset of an Action Jackson Sports Minute.
Yes, we can't see your nipples.
You can?
No, I'm just messing with you.
You want to?
Stop.
I just like making you uncomfortable.
You're going to get us taken off YouTube.
If I showed my nip, would we get taken off YouTube?
Oh, yeah.
I don't believe you. I'm a dude. I don't believe you.
Ken, what do you think?
Ken just does the news, Jackson. So you're saying if I showed a male nipple, what? Why are you head in hand now? I've seen how y'all talk about us in that production room. Don't you act all Pollyanna on me now. So you say if I showed the nip that YouTube would flag it?
Yeah.
Because it would just be a generic, like it wouldn't assign a gender to the nip.
Probably not.
It sees nip and it's over.
Just let's not test it. What was your question?
If you're the head coach of a football team and you're on the side, you've played ball. Mm-hmm. You're on the sidelines and it's the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. And you are up by, two scenarios. You're up by 3 scores. You're up by 21 points in the fourth quarter, or you're up by 4 points in the fourth quarter. Are you going to play those quarters a little bit differently?
Yeah.
100%, right?
But there is a similar strategy to it.
Okay. What is it?
You want to run the ball. Nothing fancy. Just run clock.
Yeah, but you don't want, if you're up by 4.
If you're up by 4, you might throw it on third down.
There's a little more of an urgency to score, I would think. A little more of an urgency to keep the ball in the offense's hand.
You just want to get first downs. Either way, you're just trying to run the clock down.
Run clock, but yes, if you end up, it's third and long, you're not going to risk anything with a pass or whatnot because you can always punt the ball away and let your defense play if you're up by 21. If you're up by 21, you got wiggle room. And that's my point. In the political arena, that's the same deal. It's the fourth quarter, and if Marsha's up by 17, she's got wiggle room. If she's up by 4, things are a little bit crazy. So I would suggest that what we're told is that the poll eventually got released or got leaked or whatever because they wanted to demonstrate that she still has a lead that is commanding with only 2 days to go. I don't know that I believe the reality of either of these polls. I would tend to tell you that the truth is somewhere in the middle. And if you forced me to guess right now, I'm kind of 40, 30, 30. Official guest coming on Thursday during the show on Thursday about where the split's going to be in the gubernatorial election. I'll probably do some of the other races too. I mean, I'm horrible. I'm notoriously horrible at these things. I'm notoriously awful at predicting how all of this is going to land when we get into this level of specifics. But using, the wisdom that God gave me and the life experience and doing these sorts of things, I can get around the ballpark. But I would tell you that it's somewhere 40, 30, 30. Maybe 40, 32, 30, or 38, 32, 30, something like that. And that would be Marsha in the lead. I do still think that she has a lead, but who knows? I've been wrong before. It remains to be seen. 615-737-9986, our telephone number, 615-737-9986. Either way, no matter what poll you believe, this thing is tightening up. But it is not the tightest race in Tennessee right now. My opinion, that is in Congressional District number 6, where I am told it is tighter than a tick. Tighter than a bull's behind during fly time, as my grandpa used to say, with Johnny Garrett, John Henry, and Van Hillary running in that election. Hillary and Johnny Garrett running neck and neck, and John Henry playing a little bit of a spoiler. I don't know who he would be a spoiler for necessarily. I don't know if he would split that vote or whatever, but obviously John Henry very much in the thick of things in District number 6. District number 5 would be my number 2 in terms of tight races. It's my understanding, just based on people that I've spoken with over the last week or so, that while that race remains tight, Andy remains in the lead. If you're a Hatcher supporter, you better get out and tell your fellow Hatcher supporters to get out to vote. It is within the margin of voting day matters very, very much regarding District number 5. That thing could tilt one way or the other depending on turnout on election day. is what I am told. Other than that, just really not a lot of surprises in terms of Election Day. But I hope that you get out and vote. Well, like I say, we'll have Secretary of State Trey Hargett on either tomorrow or Thursday to talk about some of the voting practices, best practices when you get out to the polls. I've not voted yet. Jackson, are you and there's no wrong or right answer. I'm not trying to trap you into a corner. I know sometimes you feel like I do that on politics. Are you planning on voting?
Yeah, I plan on going out Thursday.
But you'll do it Thursday? You say your folks have already voted? Did they vote early? Or you might not have said that. I might be wrong.
I didn't. I never said that.
Okay, you didn't say that. Okay. So Jackson's going to vote. So should I just go ahead and scribble down who you should vote for on a piece of paper so you can carry it in there with you? Or, I mean,
That's not right.
I just feel like, lean on me for you're in, what are you in 6 up there?
I'm in 6.
You're in 6. Oh, I want to know. I want to know who you voting for. Johnny Garrett. He's asleep. Van Hillary, he's stuck in the mud. John Henry, nice guy, he's in here. Old John Henry.
Called us yesterday.
He did call us yesterday during the All-Skate. But I'm getting out to Mount Pleasant on Thursday. I just like voting on Election Day. And living in a smaller town, you're able to do that without having to fear that you're going to have to stand in line. Earl, we'll get to you first up next. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Anthony Fauci will be brought up on contempt of Congress charges. We'll discuss that coming up in a few minutes. I'll give a take on the WNBA controversy, which is just very odd to me. I don't understand how we're living in a world where this is controversial to suggest that men ought not to be playing in female athletics. But here we are. It's all to come. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It is back to school time, friends. And if you're a parent and you're wondering where to go to get sports physicals, they have them until August 14th at Grace Point Healthcare. I'm going to repeat that for you. August 14th, sports physicals until then at Grace Point Healthcare, located in the heart of Franklin. Friends, you need to go there for all of your medical needs. For any doctor's appointment that you might need to get, you need to get to Grace Point Healthcare. They are, as we say, modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way, whether it's mom or dad, maybe it's a newborn, perhaps you're worried about yourself, maybe you've got something going on, or you just need a checkup, or sports physicals, like I say, for the youngsters that are getting back to school. They're doing them. They're affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine. The old-fashioned way, you betcha, because you know exactly what you're paying when you walk through the doors. You don't have to wait lengthy amounts of time. They don't make you wait in the waiting areas. They don't do that to you. Your appointment time is obviously your appointment time. And at Grace Point, they believe in treating the root cause of the issue, not just the symptoms, which is what sets them apart. Plus, their Smart Care plan, where you can use your HSA to pay for monthly, and you have unlimited visits throughout the course of the year. That's the way to get it done, friends. 599-6868. Call if you have any questions about the sports physicals or anything else. 599-6868. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way.
Right now in Middle Tennessee, Hendersonville police searching for answers in the investigation of a crash that killed a 15-year-old girl just steps from her home. Details coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
There he is. That's Ken Weaver in News Closet B. My name is Matt Murphy in the palatial studios of Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And between the glass is young Jackson Williams. He screens your telephone calls and guarantees success on these airwaves on a daily basis. 615-737-9986. On the super text line, I don't understand why you're so down on her. It appears you're trying to convince your listeners to be down on her as well. Down on whom? I'm assuming you're referring to Marsha, but I'm not quite sure because you did not say. I am not down on Marsha Blackburn other than, there's a couple of issues. I like to say that we have entered silly season when it comes to political advertising, and oftentimes silly season frustrates me. And that's probably what you're hearing on the air. Silly season frustrates me because now's the time when everybody treats everybody else like they're evil. Like Marsha's team wants to treat John Rose like he's evil, and John wants to treat, Monty. Everybody is doing that. And Johnny Garrett's an evil liberal, trans supporter, and Van Hillary is a swamp critter that loved Hillary Clinton so much he, took her last name or whatever. It's. We do this every time. I understand that it's the ultimate blood sport. I understand that there are winners and losers. I understand that it is at the end of primary night, you're going to have one person that succeeds and moves on to the November ballot, and everybody else has to go on home. But it, in my years of experience, just gets tiresome when some candidates look at other candidates who are conservative by any estimation and say that, this person's been a liberal all their life. And it's just stuff that's not true. It's silly season. And also promoting things that have already been done in the state of Tennessee, or saying that they're going to accomplish things that they have zero opportunity to accomplish on their own, or that don't even belong in the hands of state government. That's more of a federal government issue, like for instance, China. So perhaps that is my tone. Also, from Marsha specifically, I do not respect people that choose not to debate. You don't debate because your opponents are there. You don't debate based on how they're doing. You debate out of respect for the voters. And that's just me. That's not personal against Marsha. I would say it if she was sitting right here. It's not personal. It's just business, as they said in The Godfather. 1 hour down, 3 to go. Earl, you'll be first up. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and we've got a crash right now backing up 65 northbound. It is just past Old Hickory Boulevard. This is in Madison, where Channel 4 says a state trooper was injured in this crash. We got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, Channel 4's Amber Giant says Hendersonville police are looking for answers in the investigation of a crash that killed a 15-year-old girl just steps from her home.
Here on Valancourt Road, neighbors tell us that this crash happened, and police are still being very limited in the information that they're giving us. But as part of their investigation, they have been going door to door to all the houses on this court, looking for any home surveillance video to give them more information about exactly what happened.
Station Camp High School sophomore Kinsley Carter died after being hospitalized in intensive care following that crash on Sunday. Carter was a member of the Lady Bison softball team and was honored during a prayer vigil at the school yesterday. Stocks moving higher today, sending the S&P 500 and Dow to fresh record levels. Palantir shares jumping more than 25% after the company raised its annual revenue forecast, while Caterpillar also raised guidance. Analysts say AI-related earnings continue to exceed expectations. They're fueling market optimism. Meanwhile, falling oil prices and hopes for progress in the Middle East provided an additional boost. Secretary of State Rubio says there has been progress in talks with Iran and Oman about reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, President Trump demanding the nation's major oil companies lower prices after they reported record profits. ABC's Karen Hua reports from Washington.
As President Trump issues another ultimatum to Iran, he's also picking a fight with America's biggest oil companies.
They're making too much money. I don't like it.
Exxon and Chevron just reported blockbuster second quarter profits, thanks to oil prices surging higher during the war.
They're going to give some of that back to the public.
An industry trade group is firing back, insisting those higher prices are driven by global supply and uncertainty around the Strait of Hormuz, and not by any one company.
A Senate Judiciary Subcommittee is taking a closer look at what lawmakers call AI surveillance pricing. ABC's Melissa Adan says today's hearing focused on whether companies are using personal data and artificial intelligence to charge different consumers different prices for the same products and services.
The price you pay for, let's say, a flight or even groceries might be different than what your coworker, your neighbor, or even family member pays for the same thing. So experts say that retailers are just aiming to present you with what they think the highest price is on something that you are willing to pay.
Yeah, U.S. senators weighing whether new federal rules are needed to increase transparency and consumer protections. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, Madison, we got that crash 65 northbound past Old Hickory Boulevard. That's where Channel 4 says a state trooper was injured. Also, the right lane blocked 65 southbound before Old Hickory Boulevard. You got stop-and-go traffic starting for that one at the Sumner-Davidson County line. In Goodlettsville, we got a crash. Vietnam Veterans Boulevard westbound there at Conference Drive. In Hillwood, a crash. On-ramp partially blocked. 40 eastbound on-ramp from Charlotte Pike. Goodlettsville, a wreck. 65 southbound at mile marker 100. Also, Dickerson Pike south of Cunniff Parkway. In Pegram, a crash. 40 westbound at McCrory Lane. And in Franklin, a crash. 65 southbound at Murfreesboro Road. And then over on the East Bank downtown going westbound, we got a crash. Spring Street, Ellington Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, spending a good amount of time talking about the election that's coming up this Thursday in the first hour of the show. Who you got and why. That's kind of the nature of politics in the state of Tennessee right now. We're all anticipating the Thursday vote, and then the aftermath of that. You're invited to be a part of it at Hop Springs. We'd love to see you. The entire crew will be there, to include Ken Weaver delivering his award-winning newscast twice an hour when it breaks. We will also be broadcasting our show from location at Hop Springs, starting at 3 o'clock, so you can come early. Jackson Williams will be running around, generally speaking, keeping everybody on the straight and narrow, I suppose.
He's going to make sure we look good on the TV.
Mm-hmm. I have something to I just have a correction. Not a correction. A clarification, Ken. I just need to make a clarification. I need to look something up as I make this clarification.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I mentioned News Closet B at the end of last hour.
Yes, sir.
Jackson, do you have the text line pulled up? Do you have it in front of you? I have no less than 3 and maybe a few more individuals asking me the same question regarding something I said last hour, and I just want to clarify.
Okay.
You said the other thing.
I said palatial. I didn't say fellatio, Jackson.
I made you say it that time.
I said palatial. I would not call this the Fellatio Studios. I said palatial studios. Palatial meaning very large, grand.
Live from the palatial WTN studios, it's the Matt Murphy Show.
Don't make me giggle. Might as well show my nip now and just be done with it. Palatial, which is like a palace. I use that terminology, slightly with my tongue in my cheek, not to further the confusion. But I did not say the other thing. I wouldn't have said that. I would never say that on the radio.
There'd be no reason to.
There would be no reason to say that on the air. None whatsoever.
It's not even Nincompoops time.
It's a ridiculous suggestion that I would go anywhere near that. I wouldn't use the term even explain. Oh, I guess I just did. Oh, wait. Well, dadgummit. Jackson, that's on you. Y'all send your complaint letters to jackson.williams@cumulus.com. It's episode 1089, and there might not be a 1090 after what we've done over the last hour or so. Palatial Studios. There's News Closet B. Also, what do they call it in the morning? Nashville's Morning News. That's the dust-encrusted newsroom.
Sister Joan Jones calls it the dust-encrusted newsroom.
Mm-hmm. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it's big enough to merit the term room, which is why I refer to it as the news closet. Because, well,
it has no window.
It has no window.
Except for the one where I can see you and Brother Jackson.
That's right. You got a window into Jackson's control area, and through that, you can, I guess, see me. I can't see you because of the glare.
I can see you.
Hey.
But I can't feed pigeons.
Well, that's right. Or just
woodpeckers.
Or gaze longingly out of doors.
That's right.
Which would be nice from time to time. You know, I mean, occasionally I look out at this window and I'm like, man, oh man, look at those guys. They look like they're having fun. They're having a great time. I'm just stuck in here.
Ken can watch me play fantasy football.
Is that what you're doing in there when your head's down? Or are you racing? Sometimes in my head I accuse you of racing NASCAR while the show's going on.
No, I can't do that here.
Not on the phone?
That's just Brother Jackson getting ready for the next segment.
Yeah, that's right.
It's also a lot of times looking for nincompoops.
Laser focused on the next. I've got one today as long as Ken doesn't steal it.
Whoo, I got me one, boys.
Do you?
Are any of y'all's in the Northeast?
In the Northeast?
No, sir. No, sir.
Mine's not.
Where's yours, Ken?
Mine's out of country.
Out of country?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Mine is not in the Northeast, so I think we're good today. Y'all, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but we get ridiculously competitive in nincompoops in the news, and we also try to gauge where other nincompoops are coming from so that we don't double up and it's a whole thing. Earl is next up. Wants to talk about the governor's race. Earl, what's going on, brother?
Hey, I just want to tell you I like y'all's show.
Well, thank you, Earl.
I think old Jackson does a good job, man. Y'all give him a hard time. But I did want to say something about the governor's race. I really honestly believe in my heart the only reason Marsha wants it is to be the first woman governor. And she talks about these illegal aliens. Why didn't she do something when Biden was in there and there was all lying about the border was secure? Why didn't she try to do something to stop some of that stuff? So I just have to say I hope and pray that she don't win, because she can't do nothing for us. And enjoy your show, brother. Thank you for your time.
Earl, thank you for the call. Thank you for the commentary. Yes, I understand your sentiments. A lot of people, according to the polling data, a lot of people, according to the information that we've received from sources that I trust, tell me that Marsha's in a comfortable lead. Invariably, when we discuss for those just joining us, just checking in, maybe you've been checked out of news and talk and information for a while now, and you're tuning in to 99.7 FM. We get newbies on a daily basis, and we appreciate all of you newbies. Welcome in. The water's just fine over here. For those of you new to the political process, I've never seen anything like it. And I want to preface what I'm about to say by saying this has nothing to do with how I feel about Marsha Blackburn personally. Nothing to do with how I feel about her performance over her life in politics. Started politics. I guess she was a state senator for a period of time, obviously a House of Representatives member, and now a United States senator and wants to be our next governor. I have not seen anything like this. The juxtaposition between what we see in the polling data and what I hear every time, and I understand that our audience is not an overall sampling of the state of Tennessee. I wish it were. I wish every person in this state, I wish that this radio show was required listening for every human being in the state of Tennessee. If I were governor, I would make it required listening. So I get it that ours is something of an echo chamber, a little bit more of an echo chamber than maybe, I don't know, maybe that's incorrect, maybe the polling is incorrect. One way or the other, there's a 180-degree difference in what the polls have said historically about Blackburn's popularity in this state versus what the people who are willing to speak out say. Because I invariably get a lot of negative feedback when we talk about Senator Marsha Blackburn. And it has to do with a lack of getting things done in Washington, D.C. with regard to what, Earl just said. For example, the illegal immigration piece. Now, I don't know that there's a lot that Marsha could get done. And, I hear, conversation, and we bring up conversation about the amount of overspending that goes on in D.C. And, Marsha will tell you one-on-one that she's a budget hawk, but I don't know that her record of voting for CRs and these types of things demonstrate that she truly is. And frankly, she got in Washington, D.C. in 2003, and the national debt was $7 trillion in 2004, and now the national debt is $39 trillion. And like it or not, Marsha Blackburn has been a part of that. John Rose, in his time in the House of Representatives, has been a part of that. So I don't know that I've ever been a part of a political race where the feedback that I receive from the broad listening audience, and we have a lot of people that listen to this conversation on a daily basis between 3 and 7, a lot of people that listen on air, online, people not just in Middle Tennessee, but through all parts of the great state of Tennessee, all 3 states of Tennessee, if you will. And I don't know that I've ever seen that. Now, maybe there is a huge and silent majority that will come out and have come out and support Marsha Blackburn and will vote for her. And frankly, as I said first hour, if you forced me to put a bet on it, I would bet that she comes out on top of this 3-way race. We'll find out Thursday night. But I just don't, I've never seen anything like it. I get where you're coming from, Earl, and I thank you for the call, and I appreciate your comments. Kat is next. Hey, Kat, how are you?
Is it Pat?
Pat. Hey, Pat. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. What? Nice to speak to you. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to comment that when this all first started, I thought, oh, yeah, I'm going to vote for Marcia. And then those commercials just really, I'll be frank, they repulsed me. I hated her commercials. And a lot of my friends were like, man, those are not good. And then I heard about the Monty guy, and I heard him talk a few times on the radio, and I thought, hey, yeah. But then when he did the Christian thing, like the whole state should be Christian, I'm thinking that was just so overboard for me. So I was really disappointed because I just could not vote for someone who was so ostracizing. And so I voted in the primary, and I voted for Rose.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm thinking a lot of people may be on the same exact track as me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I thought it would be overwhelming for her, but the more people I talk to, I don't think it is.
No, I think this thing is nip and tuck as we come to the finish line, and you know what nip and tuck looks like might be a little bit relative, Miss Pat, because if we believe, I mean, I think a lot of people were where you were 4 or 5 months ago, you know? And I think a lot of people have made those switches, and, you know, as they dig a little bit deeper, and they've left wanting a little more, and so they, you know, make a different decision. One of the reasons that I encourage people to wait until voting day and not vote early is not because I want people to wait in lines. I want people to get all of the information possible prior to making their vote. I've had several people, and this is no slap at Monty Fritz. This is just the truth. I've had several listeners reach out to me and say, I voted early, I voted for Monty, but based on what he said about, some of the things that he said about religious faith in the state of Tennessee, I wish I hadn't.
Right.
And
I felt fortunate that I knew about that, you know, and then a friend was like, hey, wait a second, I think you need to listen about what he said. So I looked it up, and I was like, oh, my God. No, I can't vote for him now. And I was really disappointed, but I don't know. Am I the only one who thought her commercials were off-putting?
You are, to put it as succinctly as I can, Miss Pat, you are not. You are not the only one.
Okay.
There are many other listeners that, well, and I'll say this. I call it, and thank you, Pat, for the call. I call it silly season. One of the reasons that I call it silly season is you are the most informed listening audience on planet Earth. You just are. The advertising that's going on right now, that advertising is not for you. That advertising would be for people that have not heretofore paid any attention to any of this, and they're trying to figure out where they're going and where they're voting. And so it is expected that those people don't know that it's already illegal for the Chinese government to buy Tennessee farmland. So when John Rose says, we're going to stop China from buying our farmland, well, that has already been stopped, John, and you well know it, but you still advertise it. Marcia, we're going to stop China from buying farmland. Well, that is already happened in the state of Tennessee, and China owns no farmland in Tennessee. Now, if you want to strengthen it, if you want to do more with it, then tell us that. But telling us you're going to stop something that's already been stopped is insulting to the people that know better. But that's not who you're advertising for right now. You're advertising for the people that don't know better. And that's fine. That's fine, too. I get it. You feel like you've already gotten a lot of votes in the bank for you, and now it's time to get those less informed voters to come on your side using things like, you know, a fear that the Chinese are trying to buy too much farmland in the United States of America. That's healthy. That's fine. That's all well and good. It is my job. It is Ward Baker's job to present Marcia in the best possible light, right? That is her campaign consulting firm. It is Matt Murphy's job to offer commentary and to offer some level of ballast for the voters that are trying to get maximum information to go to the polls and to cast their ballot. And I'm here to tell you that this whole China nonsense is just that. Her bell to bell, no sell. If you're doubling down on something, that's fine. If you want to further something that's already been started, that's fine. I will admit to you that it causes me a level of frustration when she calls it my idea. Y'all have seen the ad, haven't you? Well, my plan, it's either my plan or my idea. My plan, bell to bell, no sell. It rhymes. It's great. It's a great slogan on the stump. That's wonderful. Guess what? It already exists in the state of Tennessee. If a school district, they no longer have the ability to allow kids during instructional time to have their cell phones out. And if a school district wants, they can issue a bell-to-bell ban. Now, if Marshall wants to double down on that, that's fine. But don't tell me it's your plan when it's not really. That's, But once again, it's silly season. And so I have to back up and calm myself down and say, well, this is just the way it is, Murphy. It'll all be over 2 days from now. Now, as far as Monty goes, Monty has issued a video, and Jackson, I'm going to try to find this on my end. Monty has issued a video clarifying his position on this issue of banning mosques in Tennessee. And as I told you before, the First Amendment and the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America precludes Tennessee's ability to ban religious practices. And oh, by the way, Monty Fritz or no governor of any state gets to determine and decide what is and is not a religion. That is not a malleable phrase. That is something that has been decided by the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And if you don't like that, you got to go back to the courts and you got to deal with it there. So Monty has offered a bit of clarity on that. I think he's getting some negative feedback on it, and he's trying to clarify. We'll play that clip for you, if possible, coming up in a couple of minutes. Larry and Wayne and Lynn and Jacob all on the way on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Legendary Matt Murphy producer Jackson Williams once said, when people spend money, they ask 3 questions. Can I trust you? Are you committed to excellence? And do you care about me? Friends, it's Matt Murphy. And if I've heard Jackson say that once, I've heard him say it once. At Eurofix, they have built their business on answering these 3 questions with a bold yes. Actually, it was Lou Holtz that said that. I was just messing with Jackson. Back in 1999, owner Aaron Stokes, God bless him, he was by himself in a one-car garage in downtown Franklin. He eventually moved into a barn behind his house to be closer to his family. Now, there are 5 separate locations for you to choose from. 5 locations in Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. I am sad to tell you that Aaron is no longer with us, but the commitment to excellence still is. With a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty, rental cars available with every appointment, a 15-minute no-wrench inspection so you know exactly what's going on. So go ahead. Ask, like Jackson has. Can you trust us? Do we care? Are you committed to excellence? The answer is yes, yes, yes. Call or book today at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com.
Hendersonville police asking anyone with information or surveillance video to come forward in the investigation of a fatal crash that took the life of a 15-year-old right next to her home. Details coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy Show in progress. WNBA, when does this, do you know a lot about the WNBA, Jackson?
Nope.
You said that fairly emphatically.
Caitlin Clark still playing?
She is. I got Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and that Angel Reese lady, and that Brittany Griner. Griner. I only know her because she tried to take weed into Russia and got in trouble. Remember that? So I don't know a lot about them, but apparently many of them are defending the right of men to play in the WNBA, which last I checked stands for the Women's National Basketball Association. More coming up on that. It's Larry's turn. Hey, Larry, what's up?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, Larry.
I wanted to say a few words about Marsha Blackman.
All right.
Most people don't know she's voted 3 times to raise her salary, and she also voted for her. She will draw the same amount when she retires as she's drawing right now, and she's got lifetime health care. Most people don't know that. You're nearly my neighbor. You live 40 minutes from me.
40 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Whereabouts are you, Larry?
I'm in Giles County.
Oh, okay. Well, no, you're out there. I like it.
I put a lot of timber around your area.
So you're saying that Marsha Blackburn voted to raise her salary as a senator?
Yes.
When did that happen, Larry?
Well, I can't remember what time, but to get $1 million a year just for the people to help her. And if you don't spend it all, it goes back into her campaign. Most people don't know that.
What did you say there, Larry? I didn't understand that.
I said all the senators and congressmen get $1 million a year for the people to help them, the secretaries. And if you don't spend it all, it goes back into their campaign.
Larry, I'm going to tell you, I'll have to do a little research on it, but I don't know that sounds odd to me. But I'll have to do a little research on it, Larry. I thank you for the call. I do not believe that senators' salaries have been increased. I do think the 27th Amendment would apply here on congressional salaries with regard to when those would go into effect. I don't know about Marsha Blackburn's voting record on salaries. I don't think you can commingle campaign money, and in fact, I know that you can't commingle campaign money and staff salaries. And I would argue that a United States senator spends more than $1 million annually on staff. I bet it's a good bit more. But I would have to look that up too. But Larry, I'll try to get to the bottom of some of that for you. It's 32 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, Channel 4's Amber Giant that says Hendersonville police are asking anyone with information or surveillance video to come forward in the investigation of the crash that killed Kinsley Carter.
We've been talking to several people in this community. It is a very tight-knit community, and right now they're just devastated that this happened. Now, Kinsley Carter was preparing to start her sophomore year at Station Camp High School next week, and she was also a member of the softball team. Now, yesterday, her teammates held a private vigil for her, but now many are still wondering what exactly happened.
Carter died after being hospitalized in intensive care following that crash on Sunday. Record highs returned to Wall Street today with the S&P 500 and Dow leading the way. Strong corporate earnings, particularly from AI-focused and industrial companies, helped drive investor confidence. Hopes for a deal that could reduce tensions around the Strait of Hormuz also helped lift markets by easing energy price concerns. As Secretary of State Marco Rubio says there's been some headway in discussions with Iran and Oman in terms of getting more ships through the Strait of Hormuz.
Suffice it to say there's been progress made in those talks, but not finality yet. We're hoping that will happen very shortly.
Meanwhile, President Trump demanding the nation's major oil companies lower prices after they reported record profits.
But they made too much money. Too much money. Chevron, too much money. ExxonMobil, too much money.
An industry trade group is firing back, insisting those higher prices are driven by global supply and uncertainty around the Strait of Hormuz and not by any one company. Pushback on AI surveillance pricing, critics calling the practice a scam today during a Senate Judiciary Committee. Here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Critics say it's just not fair. They feel like it's not fair for a retailer to determine what to charge you based on information like your internet browsing history, where you live, and what you've actually paid for similar goods in the past. Now, there is the Electronic Privacy Information Center. That's a nonprofit that's working to protect people's privacy during this time. And they're saying that this basically threatens affordability in a time where a lot of goods and services are just more expensive than ever.
That's the latest news, traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Crashes Madison, the right lane block, 65 southbound before Old Hickory Boulevard. In Hillwood, a crash, on-ramp partially blocked. That's going to be 40 eastbound on-ramp from Charlotte Pike. And then Goodlettsville, a crash, 65 southbound at mile marker 100. And Donaldson, we got a wreck, Lebanon Pike, just east of McGavick Pike. Back to Madison, where there's a crash, Briley Parkway westbound at Gallatin Pike. Back to Goodlettsville for a crash, Dickerson Pike south of Cuniff Parkway. And in Franklin, there's a crash, 65 southbound right there at Murfreesboro Road. Harpeth River, an injury crash, Highway 70 south at Charlotte Pike. At Percy Priest Dam, an injury wreck, Bell Road south of Stewart's Ferry Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. The Tennessee Men's Clinic wants to help you, gentlemen, with 4 separate locations to do so in Middle Tennessee. There are no excuses, men. Do not trust the online spots. Do not trust the fly-by-night websites. Trust the urology-based progress that you can make through Tennessee Men's Clinic. It starts with a simple telephone call. You get yourself an appointment at the closest location near you. They have spots in Nashville, right here in middle of the city. They've got Cool Springs taken care of. Clarksville, if you're up north, or Murfreesboro, if you're down that way. You go by one of the clinics, and I've got the number to schedule that appointment. They'll give you a top-to-bottom looking over. They'll get some blood work from you. They'll consult with you, talk with you about what your needs might be. Is it energy levels, what it might, and they'll find out about testosterone levels. They'll do all of that. And then they'll give you a plan of action, a plan for success. And this all is less than $100 for that initial cost of that office visit. That's what it's all about, folks. Let's get back in the game, man. Intimacy with that loved one of yours is not just long in the past. You can have this as a part of your future with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. Go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com or call 615-208-9090, 208-9090. You were gone? Get in here. Get in here for a second. Hey, Jackson, look who's back.
Mason.
Young Mason. We don't get enough opportunity to congratulate Mason on all of the success that he has experienced these last several months. I know that it was Mason. I got to Jackson. You know what was going on, right? I mean, Mason was very, very quietly, desperately trying to get away from Hand. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Not quietly. I was pretty vocal.
I didn't know you were gone. Were you on vacay?
No, I went moving this past weekend.
Moving?
Yeah, I moved.
Oh, man, that's
Still
what happens.
Not Juliet, but
that's what happens.
And
when you start big timing us across the hall,
still have 4 roommates.
Trust me, don't wherever you moved, don't call it palatial on the radio because people will think you said something else. Trust me.
Maybe with an F.
Yeah, were you listening? Because everybody said, "What kind of show you think we're running here?" This isn't the Chris Hand show.
Line. Yeah, saying the Dan Amanda show.
Are you officially transitioned
into my position?
Yeah.
Yes, but I will still be on the Chris Hand show for a while.
Well, we love you over there.
Yeah, I'm happy to be there.
I mean, Gabe's great, but
yeah,
come on, he's no Mason.
No.
And I say the same thing about Jackson. That Mason's great, but he's no Jackson. He's no Jay Willie.
I'm not Jackson.
I mean, there's only one Jay Willie.
I can't feel those shoes.
No, he's big feet.
Yeah, big feet.
Big old feet.
Makes people laugh. I can't do that.
Jackson's about to run for governor. Did you know this?
I did see that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Monty Fritz would have had my vote.
Well, that's fine. Look, no.
I won't say who I'm voting for.
Here's the thing, though. We're just running Jackson as a write-in during the general.
Yeah.
So, guys, y'all can vote for Fritz.
True.
Or if you want to vote for Rose, vote for whoever you want to during the primary. We're going to launch our campaign come Friday, and it's going to be epic. Epic.
Run it as independent?
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm here for it.
Come on. Anyway, so I just wanted to congratulate you publicly.
I appreciate it.
And you were here, so there you go.
Yeah.
And now you're dismissed. Get out of here. I mean, you can stay. We're going to start talking about
the important stuff.
Yeah.
Not talking about whatever.
By the way, just as a way to kind of close the book on this, Larry, I love you and I appreciate you. But 3185, I'm getting to that. I'm just trying to pull it up. Because 3185 says, how did Monty clarify his previous statement? I have the clip and we're going to play it for you in just a second. At least Mason didn't leave us in Wilson County. Listen, I love Wilson County. I cherish my time in Wilson County. I love going back to Wilson County. But man, Murray County sure is pretty. The new girlfriend, she sure is pretty. Larry, U.S. senators have not raised their own salaries. There's not been a salary increase since 2009. That is before Marsha Blackburn was a U.S. senator. I believe 2009 was the date that I saw a minute ago. U.S. senators spend an average of $1.8 to $2.2 million annually on personal office staff salaries. That money cannot go into campaign coffers if they do not use it for salary on staff. According to public data, Democrat senators spend an average of over $2 million, $2,027,047 to be specific. Republican senators spend an average of $1.783 million on staff. Overall budget allocated per senator ranges between $4.3 million and $6.6 million per year, depending on where the senator's state of origin is, because travel arrangements is obvious. Travel arrangements, from Washington State or California is obviously going to be more expensive than from Virginia, Delaware, or even right here in the state of Tennessee. Chief of staff typically makes around $220,000. Legislative director, $169,000. Communications director, $158,000. $102,000 for constituent services director, and down the line that it goes. Just wanted to clarify that it is not permissible for a United States senator to take their money that they are allocated for staff and move that to their political campaigns. I'm not asking you to like Marsha Blackburn. I'm just offering you this information because it is the truth. 615-737-9986. It's Wayne's turn. Hey, Wayne, how are you?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Man, I'm great, Wayne. I'm glad you called. What's on your mind?
I can't wait till Nashville Balls gets to town.
Let me tell you something. Clay Travis is so funny, and I love Clay. He's a great guy. He's great to have him in Nashville. And if y'all haven't heard, Travis has offered to start a new WNBA team based on their refusal to deny men entry into their league. Have you heard this about Clay?
Yeah.
He wants to start a new franchise in Nashville called the Nashville Balls, and he's going to field his team. He's going to be the most inclusive WNBA team in the league, and he wants to field his team with exclusively transgender individuals. So there will be exclusively transgenders playing on his team, and Clay has predicted as owner of the Nashville Balls that he will not only be undefeated for the history of the team, that he will go on a historic run where he predicts he will never lose a game by less than 25 points or win a game by any less than 25 points. So I love it. I love everything about it. Hey, have you heard the other thing that he did? Not to get off on a rant during your time, Wayne, but he also, Clay has offered $10 million to the WNBA, the winner of the league, if they are willing to play a high school boys basketball team. And he has said that he will do it for charity, and he will give the winning team $10 million of his own money if the WNBA team is willing to play a high school boys team. Is that not awesome? That's awesome. All they have to do, I would suggest that the best high school men's team in the United States would beat the best WNBA team. I'm not saying this because I don't care about the WNBA. You point out the foolishness of allowing biological males into your league. That's ridiculous.
That's right.
Well, anyway, so yeah, I can't wait. I will be, Clay, if you're listening, and I know you do, I will be a season ticket holder. I will buy a suite for my friends and I
number 2
at the Nashville Balls as for your inaugural season, my friend. I'm all in on it.
And I'm number 2.
Yes, sir. Awesome.
Hey, anyway, that's all I wanted to say, Matt.
Well, Wayne, thank you for the call. I appreciate you, brother. That's good stuff. No, the WNBA stuff is just Clay's offer is hilarious. I mean, it's just absolutely hilarious because it points out the absurdity of what they're doing. Their refusal just to make a simple statement that the Women's National Basketball Association is for women only, biological women only. And while and you can flower it with however you want to flower it. You can say, we appreciate we have respect for these people, but I mean, how hard is this? If you're transgender and you're grown up, there are certain things in your life that you're not going to be able to do because society is not set up for you. And I can have as much compassion for you and your mental issues and what you consider to be your physical issues. I can have all the compassion in the world for that. But I don't have to live within your fantasy. I don't have to live within your delusion. I'm not required to affirm your delusion in any way. And when I say your delusion, I'm not suggesting that there aren't mental issues going on. You tell me that. Don't give me crap for saying back to you what you've said to me. You've told me a mistake was made, not me. I didn't say a mistake was made. I think you were born perfectly. But what you have said is that, a mistake was made. I was supposed to be a girl and I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. Or I was supposed to be a boy and I wasn't supposed to be a boy. I was born a boy and I wasn't supposed to be a boy, I'm a girl. That's you saying that, not me saying that. Well, if you're saying that, why do you think society should completely reorder itself based on what you have admitted was a biological error? Does that mean I'm granting you what you have told me has happened? But your suggestion that society should change itself in every way to comport with the intellectual and mental delusions of a group of people that account for 3% of the American population is ridiculous. And it always will be. We're not doing it. The tide is turning on this. And whatever virtue signaling you want to enter into, it's just get over yourselves. If there was a glut of biological men who claim to be women in the WNBA would be a circus attraction initially, and it would cease to exist eventually. It just would. The same thing with golf. The same thing with tennis. Any individual sport. That is not to say that women aren't wonderful creatures, wonderfully made different, beautiful creatures, and they have so many things going for them where they are far superior to men in so many different ways, in their own ways. But one of those ways, on the whole, is not physical biology. It's just not. Now, that is not to say that there aren't plenty of women, and I hear you, there are plenty of women that if I got on the tennis court with you, you would whip my ass. There were plenty of women that if I got on the golf course with you, you'd whip my butt. What we are saying is women at their best in the arena of athletics versus men. Men have a biologically higher standard than do women. That's just it. And I am fascinated with the number of women in the WNBA that refuse to defend their league by stating the obvious that men can't compete inside of it. Otherwise, it would destroy the league from within. All right, that's what I have to say about that. Greg, we'll talk about Islam in a moment. Jacob will get to you as well. It's 52 past on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Efficient Heating and Cooling. Hot out there, although, a little bit cooler than it's been over the last several weeks in the beginning of August. But y'all know the heat is still here for the duration, right? It's going to be here throughout August, throughout September, into October. In Middle Tennessee, we have those very, very hot spells. And if the AC is not running properly, what do you do? Well, what you do is contact Jeff Eddy in Efficient Heating and Cooling. He is your go-to source for all things heating and cooling in Middle Tennessee. Right now, you're worried about that cooling, right? You're worried about that AC. Is it running properly? If it's not, call Jeff Eddy. If the AC is not ready, call Jeff Eddy at 615-784-4424, 784-4424. Jeff Eddy keeps overhead down, doesn't charge you invoices that include overtime on the nights or weekends that they might have to come out. They just don't believe in it. They keep those invoices low because they know you're a baller on a budget and you need to get that AC fixed and get back up and running. And they do it quickly and simply. Now, the time comes on occasion that they have to tell you, you need a new unit. When they do, you can trust that they're telling you the truth. They're an elite pro partner with Rheem that can help you out. Go to efficienthvac.net for more information for Efficient Heating and Cooling. Not only does Nashville Safe House have 200 safes right on their showroom floor. I mean, I would bet that you walk into the doors at Nashville Safe House. You'll say hey to Jill. She's sitting right there in the lobby area. Donald Trump's there, too. He's on the one wall. The Murphy special, my Murphy safe, is right there on the other wall. You'll see all the biometrics in the lobby, too. You talk to Jill. You talk to maybe Mark's there. Maybe he's not. Who knows? Jill does all the real work. And you say, let me see all those safes. And they'll show you a safe for every budget. They'll show you a safe for every fire rating, every shape, every size imaginable. And you're like, these are all the safes that I can possibly imagine seeing. That's about 200 safes. They have another 400 or so in their warehouse. They have the safe right for you. They believe in keeping it in stock so you get it quickly. You don't have to worry about getting it ordered. You can see it. You can feel of it. And they'll have their professional delivery crew delivering that safe quickly for you, professionally. No third parties delivering your safe and coming inside of your home. Go to 4th Avenue South in Nashville, across the street from City Cemetery, and see what we're talking about. The best selection, the best value, rebates galore as they close out the summer at Nashville Safe House, online at NashvilleSafeHouse.com.
Federal officials now fear as many as 12 states may have had water and wastewater utilities compromised in cyber attacks. These stories and more coming up at 5 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By popular demand, and I promised that I would deliver it to you, I have Monty Fritz has offered a clarification with regard to a few things he said about mosques in the state of Tennessee. It's 7 minutes long. I don't know that we'll play all of it, but I'll play the pertinent parts for you coming up in just a couple of minutes on Super Talk. Greg, it is your turn on the Murphy Show. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you fine.
All right. I've been dealing with this Islam question for a long time, and I think that there are Muslims out there that are compatible with our current system of government, with the Constitution and the freedoms that we have. I think the problem is determining the good ones from the bad ones. And I wonder, I don't know that a cult designation works, but we do have a terrorist designation that does work. Our system currently says it's based on conduct. You hurt someone or commit a crime in the U.S. or even outside of the U.S. against American citizens, then you can be inducted into the terrorism category. I wonder if maybe there is a way to expand that to include cults, but I don't see if that's really going to be effective. So that leaves us with the terrorist designation. Well, that includes anybody that supports it financially, with skills or labor or any other medium. It doesn't necessarily penalize thought, I suppose, but maybe part of the equation is getting Islam in general to reject the radicals in general, and then anytime that they are in any way supportive, then they're penalized in some way, deported, or I don't want to form like a concentration camp during World War II with like the Japanese, but
hey, Greg,
we're at war.
Greg,
Yeah.
let me, if you have the ability to, I've got to put you on hold. The music is swelling in the background, which indicates to me that it's time for Ken Weaver's newscast at the top of the hour. So I'm going to put you on hold, and we'll finish the conversation on the other side if you have the ability, because it merits a full-throated response, and I hope to provide it. We'll also provide you with Monty Fritz's clarification via Facebook. That's on the way. Your telephone calls, as always. Nincompoops in the news in the third hour. It's The Murphy Show on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Hendersonville, Channel 4's Amber Giant says there are a lot of unanswered questions surrounding a crash that killed 15-year-old Station Camp High School sophomore Kinsley Carter in Hendersonville.
Now, a parent that we did speak with tells us that he has children around the same age and says that he often sees drivers going too fast through this neighborhood, and he can't imagine what the family is going through.
And as a runner, I used to run through these neighborhoods, so it was always a concern. People flying. Every time I had a near miss of getting hit by a car, it's been in a subdivision. Can you imagine? I guess what any parent would imagine, right? I mean, that could be your kid. It's somebody else's kid. It's just as terrible, though.
Right now, police, again, they're asking everyone if you saw anything on Sunday morning that seemed unusual, or if you have any surveillance video, to send them that information as they continue their investigation.
Yeah, that crash happened on Windcrest Way on Sunday. Carter died after being hospitalized in intensive care. The S&P 500 and Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed to record highs today, driven by strong earnings from companies tied to artificial intelligence. Investors also encouraged by signs of progress toward easing tensions in the Middle East and lower oil prices. And sources tell ABC News federal officials now fear as many as 12 states may have had water and wastewater utilities compromised in cyber attacks. ABC's chief investigative correspondent Darren Katursky reports Iran remains the prime suspect.
Federal officials are still trying to figure out if it was indeed Iran or maybe some other state actor mimicking how Iran would go about doing this kind of a hack in order to provoke some kind of a response from the United States. That's all still under investigation. When it comes to the hacks themselves, there is no evidence so far of any widespread disruption to water supplies in any of the affected states.
Yeah, officials in Michigan, an impacted state, say they're coordinating with federal partners and monitoring the situation. Other states we have learned that were involved were Georgia, South Dakota, and Minnesota. The Senate Judiciary Subcommittee on Crime and Counterterrorism held a hearing today on the growing use of AI-driven pricing tools. Lawmakers examined claims that businesses may use data collected from you to predict how much you're willing to pay. Critics say the practice could lead to unfair price discrimination, while supporters argue it can improve market efficiency. The hearing's part of a broader debate over privacy, artificial intelligence, and consumer rights. And with the nation's student debt load approaching $2 trillion, a federal appeals court is offering relief to at least some of the borrowers. ABC's Jim Ryan says the Education Department's been ordered to write off $11 billion in student loans.
The ruling is the result of a class action lawsuit filed in 2019 by students or former students who said the for-profit schools they attended had lured them into enrolling by offering unrealistic promises of their earning potential upon graduation. Now the loans the plaintiffs took out to attend might be forgiven.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Over here on the South Loop, we've got a crash. It is the right on-ramp lane blocked, 40 westbound on-ramp from 2440 downtown split. It looks like in Madison, we've got a crash on the right shoulder, 65 southbound before Old Hickory Boulevard. In Donaldson, Lebanon Pike at Briley Parkway. Also Lebanon Pike just east of McGavick Pike, there is a crash. Nolensville Pike at Haywood Lane, that's going to cause a backup. And in Franklin, a crash, 65 southbound at Murfreesboro Road. Rural Hill, a crash, Hickory Hollow Parkway at Bell Road. And in Madison, Briley Parkway westbound at Gallatin Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, I found our next superstar on the WNBA, y'all. A young lady by the name of Julie Tetart. How would I? Hey, Jackson, you're our official pronouncer. Tetart, and it's French. Tetar. Julie Tetar averages 21 points, 20 rebounds this season. She was Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Domestic Player of the Year, swept all three of those honors after a record-breaking campaign. Tetar currently is dominating France's second-tier women's basketball league. Tetar is a biological male. Tetar was asked if she had joined a WNBA team, and she said, I won't say no. He said, I won't say no. So hopefully that's coming sooner rather than later. Hopefully some of these WNBA owners and coaches put their proverbial money where their proverbial mouth is. 10 minutes after the hour, Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Real quick, before I get back to Greg, I just want to share with you, give me a little audio video here, Jackson, if you can. I want to share with you what Monty Fritz had to say. We'll play a little portion of this. Monty Fritz clarifying some of his commentary on banning mosques in the state of Tennessee.
Hey, friends, it's Monty Fritz. I'm going to try to clear up a little confusion for some people. It will probably further enrage others that hate the truth. But here goes. It is an immutable fact that Christ is King. It doesn't matter if you accept that or not. Scripture tells us that there's coming a day that every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. I have no scriptural authority from Almighty God, that same one mentioned in Article 1, Section 3 of our Tennessee Constitution, the only deity mentioned in our Constitution, to force anyone to worship Christ. I don't have any constitutional authority, U.S. nor Tennessee, to force that worship, nor shall I try. Again, that day's coming when every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. Article 1, Section 3 of the Tennessee Constitution prevents us from infringing upon the rights of conscience. And that's certainly a right of conscience. But I do have a responsibility as a born-again Christian to be light and to be salt. And for those...
by the way, some of the technical glitches here are from the Facebook page. They're not coming from us, so there's nothing I can do about them.
Worldviews, those religions, or those political movements that are dragging people into an eternal hell, I have a responsibility to stand up and say so, and to offer them the truth of the Lord Jesus, his death, burial, and resurrection, and forgiveness of their sins. Romans 10:9-10 tells us that if we confess with our mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in our heart that God has raised him from the dead, we can be saved. We have a requirement in Scripture for those of us who are saved in Matthew 28:19 to go ye therefore, and in Mark 16 to preach the gospel to all the world. That's to all Christians. That's whether you're governor or tech company CEO or concrete finisher. It doesn't matter. You have that responsibility, and to abridge that or abort that responsibility is a sin. I refuse to do that. Our Constitution does protect us from a federal government that would want to delineate anything regarding religion. The First Amendment says Congress shall make no law regarding the establishment of religion or the free exercise thereof. That was written at a time when each of the states had its own version of a denomination. The colonies before and the states after. It was left to the states to make that determination. Tennessee in Article 1, Section 3, as many others, chose that they were going to be in honor of their Christian heritage. I intend to do that. In 1 Kings 21, we're given a story of a wicked King Ahab, who was a weak male politician.
By the way, I should note here, and I just want to be real clear, and I don't want to interrupt Monty because many of you want to hear this, but I would also say that the First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States of America is not the only thing that's in question here. The 14th Amendment is quite clear that the individual states cannot deny basic human rights and liberties individually that are granted by God and certified by the Constitution. So if we suggest that Congress, being the lawmaking body, is not allowed to make religious exceptions, then the state is not allowed to do so either. And I think Monty needs to, and maybe he does later on.
Who allowed a spirit of Jezebel to come in and usurp authority that she did not have. And by the way, the spirit of Jezebel can come in males as well today. But to exercise the spirit of authority that she did not have over God's people and over his kingdom. When he requested a vineyard be taken from a man named Naboth in chapter 21, verse number 3 of 1 Kings, Naboth said, "The Lord prohibit me from giving you the inheritance of my fathers."
Do y'all really want, I mean, I appreciate what Monty's saying here from a faith-based perspective, but do we want government to pervert our religious faith in this way? You allow, well, I mean, my position has always been that if you allow the intersection of government and religion, then government is going to attempt to pervert the religion, and that is the key to understanding any sort of separation between church and state, that it is to protect the church more so than the state. That's just...
I think it's time for us to make that stand here in Tennessee and in America. I intend to do that. I've told you many times as I run for this office that I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. If you don't like it, you can vote for somebody else. If you think this is taking us to liberty and less government, then vote for Fritz. But I'm not going to compromise on the truth because some of you can't handle it. That's just the mere fact of it. In that same chapter 21, there's a cancel culture that develops, maybe the first one that we see in Scripture. And that's where the wicked Queen Jezebel, when she finds out that Naboth has taken the stand for the inheritance of his fathers, she sends what the Bible calls two worthless males and writes a letter and forges it, again, usurping authority she didn't have, to have Naboth killed. If she couldn't control what he said, she would have him killed. She tried the same thing with Elijah. Well, I will tell you, the media today, the mainstream media, if President Trump has not gotten anything right, he has got, other than this, he has gotten this right. The mainstream media is corrupt. It is fake news. And they twist everything. So I see what my words have been clear. And I see the media capturing headlines that change words to make it more hyperbolic, to make it more aggravating to those who are lost and those who are undone. And I will tell you, the mainstream media who's doing that now is the same one that did that to Charlie Kirk, that has done that to Donald Trump, or to any other voice that has spoken the truth. They seek to silence the voice of truth. And they are culpable in the crimes that are often committed as a result of their irresponsible reporting. I assert that. I'm not going to back down. I'm going to stand up for Christ and Constitution. I'm not going to try to force anybody to worship the Lord Jesus. I am going to be a light and salt to them.
Well, that wasn't the question. Monty's not really answering the question here. The question was, are you prepared to? You suggested that you had the ability to shut down mosques. I'm not against Monty. I'm just trying to get clarity.
Yeah. But for those political movements that would come in like Islam or communism, both branches from the same evil root, that would force us to adopt their ideologies are incongruent with the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Tennessee. And I will, at every attempt, call them out, and I will try to prevent their further invasion of our culture.
Well, and what I would say to Monty is, then how do you accomplish that? How do you functionally accomplish that? You functionally accomplish that by arresting people that are assembling in groups, people who are like you understand that this is big government. This is not little government. This is not small government. Monty is losing me here. I believe in my faith, and my faith is strong enough that my faith supersedes any and all force instituted by man or government. And I'm not here to proselytize. I wouldn't suggest that I know the Bible like Monty Fritz knows the Bible. I wouldn't suggest that I understand the intricacies of the faith the way that Monty Fritz has expressed them here today. What I would suggest is that free will matters, that small government matters, that governments instituted by man that are freedom-leaning, that are freedom-loving, do not prevent individuals from their belief structure, nor do they prevent those that believe similarly from gathering together and associating with like-minded people. What the hell kind of country do you want to live in? We judge individuals from a legal perspective based on actions. And I'm fully prepared to do that. I'm here to tell you, based on the actions of the Islamic faith, I agree that we need to shut down any and all future immigration into this country, particularly from Muslim nations. I'm fine with that. But Monty is kind of doubling down here on a suggestion that it is within his authority as governor of the state of Tennessee to dictate to you what religions are permissible and what are not in terms of gathering and worshiping because of cultural norms. Well, one, we've got roughly 50,000 out of what is our state? Well, Jackson, fact check me, 9.5 million people in Tennessee, I think. I want to say 9.5 million people. There's roughly 50,000 Muslims in a state of 9.5 million people. The Muslim population accounts for about 1.3% of the overall population of the United States of America. Once again, many of these are citizens of the United States of America. So I'm not talking about the immigrants. I'm talking about the citizens. This is not a defense of the Muslim faith. I can hate everything about the Muslim faith and still defend people's free will to associate with other like-minded people. And for the life of me, I don't understand why people don't get that separation. That I am well within my right to hate your religion, just to hate it, to hate everything about it, and to hate everything that it stands for, and at the same time tell you that as God believes in free will and as America believes in freedom and liberty, that you have the right to believe whatever you want to believe. Every man deserves to go to hell in his own fashion. In a freedom-loving country. So I strongly disagree that this has a role within state government, that they could dictate to you, because that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about shutting down people that are trying to do terrorist activities. That's obvious. We're talking about shutting down individuals that have similar belief structures that attempt to associate and gather together with one another. And I know that it's a faith-based argument, and I know that many of you are mad at me right now, and that's fine. I'm telling you that my faith supersedes any force of government on this issue, and always will. And my belief that you have the freedom to worship in a manner of your own choosing and believe in a manner of your own choosing will supersede any of this. And I think it comes to a point where you're just pandering. And that is my take on it, and I'm certain that there are different takes on it. Now, with that in mind, Greg, I apologize. I kind of went down a side road there, but I want to get you back in here and get your thoughts on all of this.
Yeah, I think that's to some extent, I agree wholeheartedly with Monty. And I think I've been raised in the South with an idea of those who are capable, as much as possible, live in peace with them. But, on the other hand, did you notice the Lawrence Fox at Oxford discussion or debate that occurred recently?
I did not see it. No, sir.
So it's an interesting piece because, Oxford has definitely started leaning heavily towards acceptance of everything Islam except direct violence. But he makes a point of scaring the crap out of them because they think he's going to take out a photo or a drawing, a caricature of Muhammad. And, it's an uproar. Everybody's just freaking out. And then he takes out a caricature, I think of himself. I'm not really sure who it was. But his point is you're not interested in freedom of speech. You're actually interested in navigating every country's laws to the extent that you can push your Islam into place. But then the natural result of that, in every case that we know historically, is that once a certain population has leveled to a certain number, then it starts falling the other direction. And I don't know how that works exactly. I believe that, and this may sound awful, but I believe Islam is a demonic religion. Now, the other side of that question, though, is we were partially founded on a resistance to Islam with, Tripoli and the military, like the Marines. I'm sure you know the story. So I guess you have to understand that those who fought the forced projection of Islam also contributed to the First Amendment. So then when Monty says this is more a political ideology than it is a religion, I don't know if I exactly agree with that. I think it's a political ideology with the structure and bones of a religion, which is
couldn't non-Christians say the same thing about the Christian faith?
Absolutely. The only problem is they're wrong. Do you know any Muslims personally, Greg? Yes. I recently went to school.
Wouldn't they say you're wrong too?
Oh, absolutely. But here's the thing. In a Muslim country, typically, especially the majority Muslim countries, there is a very strong ideology that either requires death or tax.
Or taxation and subjugation. Yeah. I get it.
Right.
I get it.
So exactly. But in the U.S., built on a Christian ideology, we understand, like you said, you have the right to go to hell however you want to go there. But if our system is going to thrive and to continue to thrive at the way that we were constructed, there is no way that we can allow Islam to become the dominant religion.
Well, and we're not. We can insist on cultural assimilation while protecting religious liberty. We can do both.
But how do you do that?
We can do it. We've done it for the entirety of the nation's history. We've not prevented anyone from worshiping religions of their choosing during our history. It's only been a recent development that we are bowing before the altar of the Muslim faith in some of our communities. Most specifically, there are just a few touchstone communities in the United States of America that are examples of this: New York and in Minnesota and in Dearborn, Michigan. But look,
you said force cultural assimilation.
We can insist on cultural assimilation. In other words, if you come into the United States of America, you will be expected. a good example that comes to mind is a Target. I'm late. Greg, I apologize. I've got to suspend it because I'm way late and Jackson's freaking out over there. It's 26 after the hour. I'm like 6 minutes late, and I apologize. DJ and Mike, I'll get to you in a moment. I can continue the thought on what I mean by assimilating into the American culture and the Western civilization fabric in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WGN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. U.S. Pest loves the United States of America and what it stands for, our founding. They hate bugs. Bugs are a little communist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you think about it, it's true. They come into a place that they don't own, didn't pay for, didn't have anything to do with. They just make baby bugs, eat your food, enjoy your AC in the summer, your warmth in the winter, and there they go. They're just little communists. They think everything is theirs and for the taking. Let's eliminate that idea and eliminate those bugs in the process, whether it's mice or roaches, silverfish, whatever it might be. Fleas and ticks this time of year in the out of doors, they can treat your yard, they can treat your home. U.S. Pest does it all. Termite protection is 100% money back guaranteed. Bug protection, 100% money back guaranteed. Crawl space service is also available. Call them today at 590-1260, 590-1260, or online at uspest.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. 3 days after that deadly crash on Lower Broad, we're learning more about a mom from Decatur County, one of the most seriously hurt in the crash, still fighting for her life. Channel 4 Steve Mailing reports.
Family friends tell me that Diane Cooper is truly one of a kind. She was crossing this 4th Avenue crosswalk on Saturday when that car came through, hitting her and a couple other pedestrians who were just crossing the road. And while doctors have stabilized her for now, I'm told by these family friends that she still has a long road to recovery ahead of her.
Yeah, friends say that Diane Cooper reportedly picked up a second job to help get her kids through college, and that she wasn't downtown to drink. She was only there to see a concert, and her family is asking for prayers for her long road to recovery. Sources telling ABC News federal officials now fear as many as 12 states may have had water and wastewater utilities compromised in cyber attacks. ABC's chief investigative correspondent Darren Katursky reports Iran remains the prime suspect.
From time to time, certain things have gone offline. Automated systems have gone offline, and the utilities have had to revert to manual controls. The FBI is still concerned enough that they are continuing to warn utilities to take systems offline, disconnect them from the internet, or use systems, at least where there are breakers, and learn how to revert to manual controls if automated systems are compromised.
Yeah, officials in Michigan, an impacted state, say they're coordinating with federal partners and monitoring the situation. A new reason to worry about ticks, linked to a rare infectious disease called rabbit fever that doctors say can produce flu-like symptoms. In Suffolk County, New York, health officials say there are 3 probable cases of the disease there. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Darian Sutton.
This is commonly called rabbit illness, and the reason why it's called that is because it can often be associated with sick rabbits, but can be associated with other types of rodents, including rats and even deer. Important to understand here, we typically in the United States see around 200 or so of these cases a year, so this is not abnormal. But what is abnormal is the rise in the number of tick bites. The CDC data shows that this year alone, the number of tick bites is the highest it's been since 2017.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Madison still got a crash blocking the right shoulder, 65 southbound before Old Hickory Boulevard. Over here on the South Loop, a crash. The right on-ramp lane is blocked. This is going to be the on-ramp from the downtown split to continue westbound on 40. Donaldson, a crash. Lebanon Pike at Briley Parkway. We've got a crash on Nolensville Pike at Haywood Lane. A crash on Hickory Hollow Parkway at Bell Road. And then a crash in Glenview, Murfreesboro Pike west of Briley Parkway. And then in West Nashville, this one is involving injury. This is a crash with injury. Charlotte Pike at White Bridge Pike. And then in Oak Hill, Williamson County, a crash Franklin Pike at Old Hickory Boulevard. I'm Ken Weaver.
All right, I don't want anyone to have to hold. We've got Nincompoops on the way coming up, so I'm going to get to DJ and Jim real quick. Hello, DJ. What's going on?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I love your show, but you're so naive for thinking that Islam is just like any other religion.
When did I say that?
You're saying they should be treating Muslims and the place of worship just like any other religion.
DJ, I don't mean to be short. I don't mean to be short with you, but when people misquote, I've never said that Islam was just like any other religion. I've never said that.
Do you think we should allow them to build mosques and to gather and to do their worship?
I believe that people, as long as you are not denying other people their right to live and exist in the United States of America, that the government of the United States of America should not prevent individuals from their own personal beliefs or associating with people that believe similarly.
I grew up in a Muslim country. I was born in a Muslim country. They are going to be working with you guys. They're going to be nice till they get power, till they have the majority, and then they'll change. They'll start killing.
DJ,
that is like a proven fact.
DJ, calm down for just a second. Calm down for just a second. So, we both agree that we need to stop allowing individuals to immigrate to the United States of America from Muslim nations. Would you agree with that?
Definitely.
Explain to me how that doesn't solve the problem.
What about the ones that are already here?
How many by percentage? How many Muslims are in the United States of America right now? Total population. What is the percentage?
I would say about 3-4%, less than 5.
It's 1.3%, roughly 4 million people.
Yes, sir.
Right.
I understand that, but they multiply more than we do. Each Muslim might have in Dearborn, Michigan, there was a story I was watching that was saying this one guy has multiple wives. They don't show that person as their husband. They're collecting food stamps. This guy has 6-7 kids with each of these women. And they're going to just take us over. And trust me, this immigration talk that we do, we're not going to let Muslims over. It's only going to last as long as...
DJ, they better get to screwing.
I'm just saying, man, people don't know Islam like I do. Like people that have lived through it. They lie, they deceive till they get their way. And then what if you get a Muslim politician or, God forbid, somebody like Mamdani, but somebody that was born here and gets to become a president?
So you
and
want
then he opens the borders. That's the thing, right?
DJ, you want to ban all Muslims in the United States? Is that what you want to do?
I want to ban the place of worship. I want to ban every Quran because every Quran says you have to kill the infidel. You have to kill him. You have to rape him. You have to charge him jizya. I mean, that's just fact. It's a book. I could read the hadiths for you.
All right, so let's ban the Quran. Should we also do the same for other fringe religions or just Muslims?
I mean, if a group of people are singing on each other and planning to kill us wants to take power, and they call themselves a religious group, yeah, they should take them out just like the Muslims.
Okay.
I have nothing against that.
All right.
The reason I haven't been brought up doing bad things was because I didn't worship a person that was married to a 6-year-old and had sex with her when she turned 9. I didn't worship somebody that was killing people that wouldn't fall in line. And they do that till today. That's not going to change. They only say what you want to hear once they get the majority.
You are not talking to someone that will defend the Muslim faith. I am not defending...
I'm married to a Muslim person. Don't get me wrong. I'm married to somebody who's a Muslim, but she's not a Muslim.
DJ, I'm asking you to... Can you allow me to finish my sentence before you start yours?
Sorry, go ahead. I'm just passionate and I keep interrupting.
I appreciate that, and just... I respect the conversation. I'm trying to finish my sentence before you start yours because I feel like you maybe aren't listening to my sentence when you start your sentence before I'm done.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You can understand how that feels. So,
yes, sir.
So you want to ban the Muslim faith, specifically the Muslim faith, from the United States of America, and we're going to have to change the Constitution to do that, I guess, or not, in your opinion?
I believe if that's what's required, then yes.
All right.
We shouldn't allow something in the country that plans to overthrow us once they take power, once they have the means to do so. Now, whether that's a religious group, whether that's an ideology, communism is against the law, right? But some of you are allowing it.
Communism is not against the law. Communism is not against the law, sir.
I always thought that was after the 1960s, the Cold War. I thought communism was something that was frowned upon, and
there's a difference between. Islam. I frown upon Islam. But there's a difference between me frowning on something and suggesting that there's a better way from a religious perspective and making it illegal to associate with that. There are communists. I mean, communism is a moronic political movement, but there are plenty of communists in the United States of America. DJ, I got to run. Call me back. I don't mean to be hard-hearted with you. But I'm very late, and I appreciate where you're from, and I appreciate how they do things over there. I appreciate how we do things over here. I do not believe in a government big enough to deny individuals from being able to gather with like-minded individuals and talk about their beliefs. That is what you're discussing. I agree that we need to eliminate immigration from foreign nations completely. And I do not believe in a government that has the amount of power that y'all are willing to give that government, because the government is not going to relinquish that power and use it exclusively for what you claim that they're going to. And when the socialists take over in some of these areas, they'll start banning the Christian faith, and they'll use these same arguments against us. They're already trying to do so. Thank God for the First Amendment. Otherwise, we'd have hate speech laws in the United States of America. Thank God for the First Amendment, or we would be the UK. We would be Canada, where there is an overrun of the Muslim population because of lax immigration laws. And there's a prevention in any Christian faith from lashing back or pushing back against it because it's considered hate speech. That's what they do over there. We don't do that over here because we believe in the freedom that God has given us, that we wrote down in the Constitution of the United States. And I'm off my soapbox. It's 46 after the hour. It's time for Nincompoops. Let's go.
Nincompoops in the news.
All righty then. Somebody says nobody's saying they can't gather. That's exactly what you're saying. That's what banning mosques is. Because if you ban the mosque, then they'll gather at people's houses. What are y'all talking about? Live in the real world. Okay. It's time for Nincompoops in the news. Let's go all across this great state, the volunteer state of Tennessee, all across these United States of America.
Nay, the globe.
Nay, the globe. And find these nincompoops where they live and they breathe. Hey, Ken.
What's going on, boy?
We're very excited. We're talking religion on the show today. It's always testy.
Religion and politics. Yes, sir.
Always testy.
Only thing missing is some brown water.
And maybe a little talk on sex.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what Nincompoops is for, the brown water and the nakedness. It's time to get into some Nincompoops. Let's have a little fun with this, and we'll get back into hard stuff coming up in just a moment. All right, Ken Weaver, you won yesterday. Congratulations, Ken.
Thank you, boys.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, what is our batting order today, Ken?
I'm going to say Weaver, I'm going to say Murphy, and then Brother Williams will be bringing up the rear.
No, just say up yours, Ken.
I can't do that, Brother Jackson. I always screw that up.
Look at me right in the eye and just say Jackson, up yours.
No, that's not what anybody. I don't think that's what anybody's saying.
Brother Jackson's hogging this here game.
I know he is, isn't he? And he gets it. Ken, dare I say, man gets a little butthurt if he doesn't win every day.
I'm telling you.
Good gracious.
All right,
let's go.
Here's mine. This is out of Japan, Kagoshima. 18-year-old care worker arrested naked in a laundromat. Police arrested an 18-year-old man after he was discovered standing completely naked inside a local coin laundromat late at night. It's about 11:30 p.m. on Sunday. Officers on routine patrol noticed an abnormality inside the laundromat. Upon investigating, they found the suspect entirely without clothes. They arrested him on the spot. The suspect, a self-proclaimed nursing care worker residing in the city, admitted to the allegations. He told investigators upon his arrest, "I wanted to relieve stress." Police noted that no other customers were present in the store at the time of the arrest. The man was not doing any laundry. The bizarre incident occurred as Kagoshima City endures a sweltering summer heat wave, marking its 32nd consecutive tropical night, as they put it there, where overnight temperatures remain stubbornly high. Authorities are now investigating whether the suspect is connected to multiple recent emergency calls from residents, reporting a nervous, naked man wandering the nearby streets.
See, Jackson doesn't think it's funny. I think it's funny, Ken.
I think it's funny, too.
That's a nincompoopery going on right there.
Jackson's he's not going to give me a laugh.
No, No, you know what, Ken? I would be very judicious with my laughs with Jackson from now on if I were you.
I can't help it. He cracks me up.
He does. He cracks me up too. All right, are you ready for me?
I'm ready.
Nashville, Tennessee. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's a local nincompoop. Nashville, Tennessee. WSMV Channel 4 reports a man was arrested over the weekend in downtown Nashville after allegedly exposing himself and urinating.
That's never happened down there.
As young children looked on.
Goodness.
Police say they found 42-year-old Joseph Falkenstein. Falkenstein?
I'm going with Stain.
Falkenstein. Joseph Falkenstein was, quote, lying on the sidewalk with his genitalia exposed.
Goodness.
At about 6 p.m. Sunday near the intersection of 3rd Avenue South and Malloy Street. An officer wrote in the affidavit that he was, quote, urinating in front of young children while watching.
Oh.
Officer said the 42-year-old's man, his face was, quote, flushed red. He was unsteady on his feet, had slurred speech, smelled of alcohol. He was arrested, charged with misdemeanor indecent exposure, misdemeanor public intoxication. He was booked Sunday evening into the downtown detention center. His bond set at $2,000 per the Davidson County Sheriff's Office. He has now been enshrined on the Matt Murphy Radio Show as a complete and total drunken nincompoop.
Yes, sir.
Jackson?
Y'all ready?
Ready, Brother Jackson.
Ready, Jackson.
Naked man who jumped off Brooklyn Bridge, arrested and charged.
I can't help it, man.
Charged.
A 44-year-old man was arrested after climbing to the top of New York City's historic Brooklyn Bridge on Sunday, displaying flags, and eventually plunging into the water, police said.
Goodness.
Oh, sweet Lord. Ghali Mazan Abel Daif is facing charges of reckless endangerment, graffiti, public lewdness, criminal trespass, and disorderly conduct. The New York City Police Department said in a statement to NBC News on Monday. It's unclear whether he has retained an attorney. Police were called to the Brooklyn Bridge on Sunday afternoon after reports that a man was scaling the 143-year-old bridge with a backpack. Abel Daif allegedly stripped down after reaching the top of the bridge's north tower. He then jumped from the top of the bridge tower into the East River, where police said he was rescued by the department's harbor unit. He was then taken to a city hospital and is in stable condition.
What was his name again, Brother Jackson?
Ghali Mazan Abel Daif.
Great googly moogly. That was his name.
I can't believe he survived.
Yeah, that's a
pretty
43-foot jump.
That's pretty impressive. Have you seen the video?
No.
There's a video.
What was the flags?
I don't know. He put up flags, and then it looked like he was trying to hold like a backpack as a parachute.
Goodness.
Which, by the way, doesn't work. Everybody. I don't know. I didn't see an up close. I didn't see an up close video of his shortcomings. But
the police did not provide additional information as to what was on the flags.
That if you drop, you're going in feet first, right? Going in feet first.
You better,
man.
That's got to be kills people even when they go feet first.
That's got to be hard on the testes. Wouldn't you think?
I think, wouldn't it break your ankles or something? I know it's water, but that high up?
Oh no, it's like concrete.
Yeah.
You got to point your toes, Ken.
He is in stable condition.
Man. Lucky SOB. Nincompoop. Absolute nincompoop. Vote Jackson, vote Murphy, vote Weaver. Just vote. On the YouTube chat, there's a poll up and running. You can also vote 615-737-9986. 53 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. The Wellness Institute provides nincompoops in the news on a daily basis. We love that about the Wellness Institute. I love even more so that they provide pain relief in a more natural way. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, and the rest of the team, they want to see you. And friends, it's as simple as this. If you're in pain and you think it's going to take painkillers or injections or even surgery to alleviate that pain, please go see Dr. Kevin first because he wants to help you. He has my complete seal of approval. They have an epic spinal special going on to make it cost-effective for you, $33 off each visit. They also have incredible technologically advanced ways to prevent pain in your body, like the HydroWave system, Medical Bay 1, spinal decompression, E-stim, just to name a few. Give them a call today to find out what they can do for you at 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009 or go online at painisbad.com. Painisbad.com for our friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Channel 4's Steve Mailing on what we're learning about a Decatur County mom, Diane Cooper, who was seriously injured in that crash that killed one person on Lower Broad on Saturday.
So Mitzi Morris says she worked with Diane and her husband at their Parsons restaurant, where she came to know of Diane's kindness and compassion. She says Diane picked up a job at Tractor Supply in Hohenwald to help get her kids through college. And Mitzi says she wasn't downtown to drink. She was only there to see a concert. And now her family is rallying for her recovery as she faces a long road ahead.
She fights alongside people when they're down. She fights for her family. She fights for her community. But at the end of the day, Nashville needs to step up and do better, because that's what we need so all of our families can come home safe to us.
And as for that investigation into what happened, Metro's traffic detectives are still combing through this investigation, trying to get down to the bottom of it. But I'm told that the family of Diane is just asking for the community's prayers and thoughts as she faces that long road to recovery ahead.
Stocks moved higher today, sending the S&P 500 and Dow to fresh record levels. Palantir shares jumping more than 25% after the company raised its annual revenue forecast, while Caterpillar also raised guidance. Analysts say AI-related earnings continue to exceed expectations and are fueling market optimism. Meanwhile, falling oil prices and hopes for progress in the Middle East provided an additional boost. A Senate Judiciary Committee is taking a closer look at what lawmakers call AI surveillance pricing. ABC's Melissa Adon says today's hearing focused on whether companies are using personal data and artificial intelligence to charge different consumers different prices for the same products and services.
The price you pay for, let's say, a flight or even groceries might be different than what your coworker, your neighbor, or even family member pays for the same thing. So experts say that retailers are just aiming to present you with what they think the highest price is on something that you are willing to pay.
Yeah, U.S. senators weighing whether new federal rules are needed to increase transparency and consumer protections. J.P. Morgan Chase says it's going to invest $750 billion through 2035 to help increase the nation's housing supply and expand home ownership opportunities. The bank plans to finance 1 million affordable housing units to help 500,000 people buy homes, including 200,000 first-time buyers. And a new reason to worry about ticks, linked to a rare infectious disease called rabbit fever that doctors say can produce flu-like symptoms. In Suffolk County, New York, health officials say there are 3 probable cases of the disease reported there. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Darian Sutton.
Important to understand here, we typically in the United States see around 200 or so of these cases a year, so this is not abnormal. But what is abnormal is the rise in the number of tick bites. The CDC data shows that this year alone, the number of tick bites is the highest it's been since 2017.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Lots of crashes. Let's run down the list. Whites Creek, 24 westbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. South Loop, right shoulder block, 65 southbound at 40 south. Hermitage got Old Hickory Boulevard at Central Pike. Oak Hill in Williamson County, Franklin Pike at Old Hickory Boulevard. Glencliff a wreck, 40 westbound at Spence Lane. Berry Hill, off-ramp partially blocked, 440 westbound off-ramp 265. Madison, right shoulder block, 65 southbound before Old Hickory Boulevard. Donaldson, Lebanon Pike at Briley Parkway. Hamilton Creek, Bell Road at Couchville Pike. Glenview, Murfreesboro Pike west of Briley Parkway. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being with us. It is the final hour of the Murphy Show. I'm a little disappointed we haven't talked more about the WNBA today. Oh no, I'm not kidding. Also, Anthony Fauci will be brought up on contempt of Congress charges. Of course he will. The media will continue to defend Anthony Fauci despite the fact that he's a lying SOB. We'll talk about this in the last hour of the show. We have discussed the WNBA and some of the failures. I mean, this league can't get out of its own way. Obviously, we're talking about the political election that's upcoming. That's led us. Monty Fritz offered a clarification on his ban mosques comment. We played that. That led to a discussion about what the government's role is in preventing or not preventing certain religious practices in the United States of America, specifically Islamic religious practices. I just want to clarify where I'm at on it for a minute. I don't defend Islam. I don't believe that Islam, I mean, mine is not a position to say whether Islam is a good religion or a bad religion. It's clearly a death cult. At the same time, I believe in a life and in a government free of interference from a population having the liberty and freedom to associate and do things of their own free will, absent any government restrictions, so long as I'm not violating the rights of other people through force or fraud. I'm a small government, small L libertarian. And that includes matters of social importance. It includes matters of community importance. I believe that government serves best when it serves least, and absolutely when necessary. And I understand many of your concerns. My position is simple. Stop immigrating others from other parts of the world. All of them. All of them. If I were king of the world, if this were Murphy world, we would eliminate any and all immigration into the United States of America for a minimum of 5 years to get a handle on, A, those who are already here, to ensure that those who are here love the United States of America and believe in the liberties and freedoms that make America great. Also to ensure that our own population is allowed to achieve a level of success that we have so promised in this country, that the blessings of freedom and liberty promise in this country, that fertile playing field that we so enjoy. So I would eliminate all immigration, and I believe that would eliminate some of the cultural appropriation that's going on in parts of our country that lead to, Muslim-based populations in the United States of America. 9 minutes after the hour, I appreciate and respect your thoughts on all of this. Tony will get to you momentarily. Right now, it's Mike in Old Hickory. Hey, Mike.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm great, Mike. I hope you are.
Well, I am. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you believe all the stuff you just said? do you think you would last about 2 seconds if you took a Christian-oriented and belief-oriented belief that you have in Action Jackson, and you all go to Tehran and open up a Christian radio station and broadcast? You know how long you'd last? About 2 seconds before your heads are cut off and then rolling down the streets. Because that's the kind of people we're dealing with, Matt. And then number 2, do you believe God is a murderer because he got rid of Sodom and Gomorrah?
That's an interesting question. No, I don't believe God's a murderer.
He got rid of Sodom and Gomorrah. They just wanted to practice their beliefs.
Well, God believes in free will. God believes in free will.
They practice it. Why did God say, no, you can't?
Where's Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible? Is that New Testament or Old Testament?
It's in the Bible. Read it.
I'm just asking.
By the way,
hey, Mike. Hold on, Mike. Hold on. I'm not. Mike. Listen, Mike, be quiet for a second. I'm not arguing with you. I just asked you a question. You got very defensive you got very defensive when I asked the question. I'm not arguing. I asked you, was it in the Old Testament or the New Testament, Mike? Do you know?
New Testament, Romans 1. He hates homosexuality. That's why he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah.
I just was asking, Mike. I don't.
But are you saying God is a murderer? Then who brings him up on charges?
Mike,
who brings God up on charges?
Did Sodom and Gomorrah happen before we found the blessings of Jesus Christ?
Absolutely before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why God said, you better stop doing this stuff. And if you don't, then I'm going to send my son, which is himself, and I'm going to die for all your sins, and that's it. And then that's all you have to believe. But get off this notion that, you just all get along.
By the way, the comparison, Mike, I'm going to send you over. Mike, I got a gift for you.
Satanism versus Satanism versus God.
Mike, your calls are infuriating because you don't listen, and I'm trying to be.
And your answers are infuriating because you just keep cutting people off, and you just want to push your own agenda, and you can't answer questions.
I did answer questions. By the way, you were wrong. You're wrong. By the way, you know you're wrong, right, about Sodom and Gomorrah. Do you know you're wrong?
I'm wrong about that.
Yeah, you're wrong. But I mean, I don't pretend to be a theologian, Mike. I am not. I do not know my Bible like most of the audience.
Then don't learn it, man.
But learn it. I think your comparison's a little off here because Jesus Christ came to the earth to cleanse of our sins by sacrificing. Right. Are you done,
Matt? Just go learn the Bible and don't get on the air and say you're smarter than all of us. You're not.
Mike. You just heard me say that. You seem confused. Once again, you're not really listening to the words. You're assuming what I'm about to say. I don't pretend.
But I'm asking you. I don't pretend. Jackson, go to Tehran and open up a Christian radio school in Tehran.
Mike,
Go do it, Matt. Go do it.
Here's a simple question for you before I let you go. Are we better than them?
Matt.
Are we better than them?
Mike. Go to Tehran.
All right, I'm shutting you up because you won't listen. And you know what? I'm done with Mike for the rest of the week. So, I mean, I'm done with him for the rest of the week. So no calls from him. Mikey, we're better than them, right? That's all. Tony is next. Hey, Tony.
Matt, I got to tell you, man, I got to say you got a lot of patience. Patience is a virtue. It's in the Bible, I think. And I'm no scholar. But listen, I'm up here in Montreal listening to you guys, and man, you got some vitriolic competition there, man. I'm telling you, if you were in Montreal, bro, you would have cut that guy off in about 14 milliseconds. That's how much lead time people have here in Canada when they attack the hosts. And sometimes I listen to you guys, and I listen to you all day long. I get up at 4:45 in the morning, and I listen to Mandis, then I listen to Chris Hand, and then I'll listen to you in the afternoon if I can get away from what I'm doing, and then I'll listen to a couple other guys like Mark in the evening. And like, I see that you guys in the U.S., you're willing to give people their time on the radio, which is quite amazing. I do believe that your country believes in free speech much more than what we have in Canada. We have hate speech, which to me is just the most pejorative legal analysis on language or on use of language that you can possibly imagine. And Carney and his government and Trudeau and these liberal lunatics are copies of what Starmer has brought to the world. And the last bastion of free speech is your country. I really believe that your country allows people to say what they want. You can even swear sometimes on your radio, so you can't say anything close to what you guys say on the radio in Canada. The CRTC would have closed you down a long time ago. But the debate between what you were talking about tonight, Muslims and Christians, that debate doesn't even happen. If you said anything about Muslims being negative, you'd be shut down. I appreciate the fact that you are making that argument and allowing people to make that argument. Now, if you allow me to make a couple of comments on Muslim religion, all you got to do is go to an X account tonight and see a person completely in a hijab, covered from head to toe, a woman, saying that it's not oppression of women, but wearing a hijab is pride. We have a different concept of pride. The word pride in our country, in your country, and in Muslim countries is a completely different concept. And I believe that the Muslim religion, as it is portrayed in Dearborn, Michigan, north of Dallas, the 200-acre facility you have in north of Edmonton, where they impose Sharia law. Sharia law, Islamists, pedophiliacs, the people that use their Quran to call us infidels, Christians infidels, those people will never be able to assimilate into the United States or Canadian or Britain. They will never. They want to dominate through immigration and overpopulation. And that problem exists because we allow freedom of expression, and it is in our Constitution. You mentioned 4 million people that are Muslims, and there's 350 million. They're making a lot of noise for 4 million people right now. And I'm worried about that. I'm not worried about a lot of things that they say, the violence that they perpetrate. I'm not talking about all Muslims. I have a lot of friends that are Muslims up in Canada, very peaceful, hardworking people. But I'm always wondering, in the back of their mind, they believe in Sharia law, and I don't believe in Sharia law. I believe that if you're portraying Sharia law and you're advocating for Sharia law, you're a traitor to our system. Our system advocates our law that was fought for both in our two countries. Well, I don't believe anyone that comes.
Well, let me say this.
That believes it. Yeah.
We do have in America, we have the blessing of the foresight that the Founding Fathers had to lay out the Bill of Rights. There was an argument about whether the Bill of Rights were necessary because many of our Founding Fathers assumed that we would naturally gravitate to rights if it were not set down in the Constitution. And many very, very smart people said, no, we got to write them down. And so the First Amendment was written down, and Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. When I remind people of this and remind that the 14th Amendment, by its very nature, extends that prohibition to the various states, I'm told, well, the Founding Fathers would have had no idea, no concept that the Islam would grow to this strength and would be a danger to the United States of America in the way that it currently is. You know what argument is very similar to that argument? And I know this is very difficult for my Constitution-loving friends in the listening audience to accept. Liberals make the same argument about the Second Amendment. It's the same one that my conservative friends are making about Islam and the First Amendment. Well, the Founding Fathers could never have foreseen that Islam would be what it is. Well, the liberals say the founding fathers could never have imagined the types of guns that are available to the general population now. That doesn't matter. None of that matters. The words are what the words are, and if you think that it's a big enough threat, convince enough of your neighbors to change the Constitution of the United States to reflect America in 2026. If you get enough votes, if you get enough people, you can do that. All right, I'm sorry, Tony, go ahead.
And I agree with you 100%. And up here in Canada, I spent my time at McGill University studying civil law and common law, and I was considered a constitutional criminal, let's say, not expert. I will never call myself an expert, but a practitioner. And I believe that Constitution is very important. It's the fabric of our countries. But I also believe what the Supreme Court of the United States says, that the Constitution of the United States is not a suicide pact. And what you're talking about is that there's an evolution in society, and that maybe the Constitution, with enough votes and enough states behind it, can amend that Constitution if we believe there's a threat to the actual fabric of the United States. And I'll tell you one thing. There's a lot of people not happy about people being threatened and being called infidels, coming here and turning Dearborn into like Tehran or some other Muslim country. We don't believe in that at all, Matt. We believe that we should, my religion believes in peace. I'm a Christian. I believe in peace. All my friends are Christians. They believe in God. They believe in Jesus. We do not advocate violence against any other people. We advocate for peace and harmony and trying to find a way away from violence. We don't use our religion to perpetuate violence if you don't agree with us. You know, I went to a Baptist school, and I'm a Catholic. And I enjoyed going to that Baptist school, and I enjoyed going to those churches. I also go to synagogues and listen to them. And I will listen to any religion that advocates for peace.
Well, there's always a natural, and you know, and you're right. The Supreme Court, and I was looking up some of the cases. I think it was originally in 1949 that a justice wrote a version of that the Constitution is not a suicide pact, and what they mean by that is it's that natural tension. And I've talked about it quite a bit over the last several weeks. Tony, there is a natural tension in the United States of America between freedom and security. And anytime that pendulum swings too far one way or the other, we as citizens must insist that that tension is a balancer, right? And we must be careful not to allow that to swing too far one way or another. Have you always been in Canada, Tony?
No. My mother's family are great people from New Jersey, from Chicago. My cousins are in La Jolla, California, and Phoenix, and I love my cousins in the U.S. I attended a lot of their weddings. That's on my mother's side. My dad's from Italy, and I have dual citizenship with Italy and Canada. My parents pushed education as a tool to improve us. You know, my brother's really a super guy in engineering. My other brother's also a person that deals in business matters. So we were pushed to go to school, but the thing is that the reason that I'm an Ameriphile is that my dad loved America. He loved America. He loved everything about America. He loved the Yankees. He took my mother on her honeymoon to New York City. 3 days. That was a big deal back then in the time that my dad got married. And he thought if you go on a vacation for 7 days and you get married, you're kind of a wealthy person. So 3 days was the max for him. But yeah. He went to Boston. He went to the United States. We would go every weekend to Plattsburgh, where there's a beautiful beach on Lake Placid. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I got to understand that America is my friend. America welcomes me. America is our buddy. America loves us. That's why I love America. And people in Canada don't understand me. When I get on, they say, oh, you're a Trump guy, you're this. No, I believe in policy, bro. I believe in policy. Personality, sometimes, you know, Trump says things that are a little out of, I wouldn't say what he says, but I mean, the general direction that Trump has taken the world is okay with me. I agree with what he's done. He's triggered Poland. He's triggered Italy. He's triggered Hungary. You know what? If we have our way, maybe he'll trigger Canada. But I'll tell you one thing. I always tell people the following.
Yes, quickly. I got to run. Go.
Okay, this is what I'm going to say. People say in Canada, we don't like Trump. I say, why? Oh, he's for the USA. I said, exactly. Where are our politicians that say Canada first?
Amen.
Canada is for us. If you are annoyed by Trump, you're annoyed with our politicians because they sell out our country, not just to anybody that will buy us. I'll tell you one thing: if I ever get on that podium and I'm running this country, I will be just like Trump and probably even more militant.
Yep. Love it, brother. Thank you, Tony, for the call. I got to run. I appreciate it very much. Call us back very, very soon. 24 after the hour on Super Talk. Baby, Osite Day is coming up this Saturday at the Glock store, and I'm so happy to tell you about it. This Saturday, this August 8th, in just a few days, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., you can get hands-on range time with new Osite optics. There are in-store discounts on Osite optics, insane Osite raffle giveaways, free Osite swag while supplies last. Food trucks are on site and ready to go. Friends, this is going to be a big-time party this Saturday. Now, if you've never been to the Glock store, what are you waiting on? You've got to go. Gun selection is unmatched. A gunsmith always on site, accessories, ammo, clothing, gear, everything you need. They've got it at the Glock store. Plus, the Shoot 270 rooms, never lanes, the manufacturing division, it's all there. And Osite Day, it is your opportunity to get some incredible discounts on Osite optics, and you might even win. A lot of folks are going to win. You got to be present to win. You go by this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's Osite Day at the one and only Glock store. Minutes away from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere. I'll see you at the Glock store. Supertalk 99.7 WTN 3116 writes in, Hop Springs, I don't see an opportunity to RSVP on the event announcement. Historically, there's one so that they can staff accordingly. Is this just me? I never rule out possibilities. I tend to come early and to leave early. 3116-1, we appreciate that. Number 2, Jackson, will you confirm? I thought there was an RSVP slot on our website, 997WTN.com. Jackson's going to check that for us while we wait. And I remind you to come on out and see us this Thursday. You don't have to agree with me all the time. And as a matter of fact, I'm a little bit crazy. And I would suggest if you agree with me 100% of the time, you are too. But you probably don't, right? So it's okay that we can disagree on certain aspects of any and all conversations. I hope that we can remain friends. I default to freedom. I default to liberty. I don't belong to clubs or groups because I don't believe in them. I mean, that's all I can tell you. So I'm going to retain my belief in individual freedom, individual rights, individual liberties. That's what I do. And I understand that there are differences of opinion on the subject matter that we've been discussing for the most part of the day, and I appreciate that. I respect it. It's one of the reasons I entertain it and enjoy it. The combative nature in me enjoys the intellectual and verbal back and forth. And I hope you enjoy it too. But come on out and see us, Hop Springs, this Thursday. A big election watch party starting at 3 o'clock with yours truly, Matt Murphy. The rest of the gang, Chris Hand, Dan Mandis, Chad Benson, and the crew will be along at about 6 o'clock or a little bit earlier. And we're going for the duration. We're probably going to be there until at least 10. And you're invited to come on out and see us too. Ken Weaver will be there. Maybe Joan Jones will show up. I don't know. I know Jackson will be there. Jay Willie, what'd you find out?
You can RSVP on the website.
Okay, so 3116, go to 997WTN.com. 997WTN.com and RSVP in that fashion. 38 after the hour. We normally do it on Mondays, but Matt Murphy was tardy. So now we do it today. Matt Murphy Movie Mayhem. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We preview these movies so you don't have to watch Dogs. That's basically what we're doing. Every Friday, we present a film. You select the film that Jackson and I are required to watch over the course of the weekend. I did not watch my film over the course of the weekend, but I gave Jay Willie the hat yesterday, which you said officially absolved me of my crime.
Yes.
Correct? Okay, very good. We watched the 2014?
Yep.
2014 film, Christopher Nolan and Interstellar. Jackson.
Yes.
Talk to me.
I think this might be my new favorite Nolan film.
Really? Have you seen Oppenheimer?
I have. I need to watch it again. I have not seen it since I went and saw it in the theater.
Man, Inception was so good. No? Inception was just impossible to keep up with.
Also, here's the thing. He made a movie similar to Inception. It's not the same concept, but it's a similar one in Tenet.
See, I've never seen Tenet.
So I saw Tenet in the theaters before I saw Inception. So I think
kind of spoiled you.
What?
Spoiled you on it, you think, maybe?
Because Tenet's not done as well, but it's a similar concept.
Well, of the 13 Nolan films, do we all agree that The Dark Knight Rises is the suckiest?
No.
No? What would you say?
I love The Dark Knight Rises.
I haven't seen all of them. I haven't seen all 13, so I can't really speak to it.
I haven't either.
I felt like it was, it was fine, but after the, what the hell, the Joker movie. Which one was that?
Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. After The Dark Knight, it was going to be hard to finish that trilogy.
I would put Tenet at the bottom of my list.
What about Interstellar? What'd you love? What'd you hate? It's difficult to talk about without spoilers, but you know what? It's 12 years old, so probably should have seen it by now.
I love the overall overarching. I love, number one, the cinematography in this movie. The way this movie looks is probably the single best looking movie I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was really good on my 75-inch screen downstairs. Jackson.
The different planets, the
idea that you had to create, and I did a deep dive, so I couldn't go to bed last night after I watched it. So I just started looking up just various aspects of this, and the fact that they hired like astrophysicists to fact-checked the Nolans because it was Christopher Nolan and his brother that wrote the script, and they fact-checked them to make sure that they were accurate, and then they used those same astrophysicists to visually fact-check the film to make sure that they weren't doing anything visually that was out of bounds. Now, obviously, people don't know what a black hole looks like, but that is their best estimate as to what a black hole looks like. We don't know what happens when you go inside of a black hole, obviously.
So the years thing was real?
Yes, that is a fact. That the time, it's not a fact. It is a theory that as you get closer to that event horizon, as you get closer to a black hole, that time is going to bend in such a way where it slows down for the individual experiencing that, and it remains consistent in other parts of the galaxy. And so, yeah, the 23-year thing and the 51-year thing, that's...
So Matthew McConaughey is the youngest-looking 124-year-old of all time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the Michael Caine turn. It hurt my soul.
I liked it.
I mean, I appreciate it for the movie-going experience. I didn't like it because, I like Michael Caine, and I want Michael Caine to be a good guy.
Well, he's dead.
And he's dead now. And
not the actor.
Maybe.
No, I looked it up.
Is Michael Caine still alive?
Yep.
Isn't he like 98?
93.
93. Man, he's been in a lot of films.
He's excellent in this movie.
He's very good. The cast, great ensemble cast. Matthew McConaughey, obviously. Matt Damon. Matt Damon playing a role that we don't typically see from a Matt Damon guy, and I saw that coming. I saw it coming.
See, the Michael Caine twist was the one that surprised you.
Yes,
I saw that coming all along.
So I didn't see that
I was like, oh, this is not what it looks like. And then the Matt Damon one is the one that surprised me.
And I saw that one coming because I'm like, what? He's real cavalier and he's cagey about his marine robot being down. I'm like, what's up with that? He's just like, oh yeah, well, I had to get the batteries out of him. So
I will say I saw that there was going to be some type of conflict of where they were going to have to leave the ice planet. But I didn't see the attempted murder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was... Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So and then the attempted Grand Theft Auto. Or Grand Theft Spaceship.
So a few fun facts for you. We always like to pepper in some fun facts as we're offering these movie reviews. The dismantled robot on the ice planet has the designation KIPP, KIP. That is a reference to one of the executive producers of the film. They gave him a little nod there. Let's see. Island scenes. Many of the characters' names are found on the books in Murph's room. I'm going to be honest with you, I was a little bit distracted because of the number of times they said Murph in the movie. Murph. I felt like Matthew McConaughey was talking to me. I felt like I was right there with him.
You were like, yes, Mr. McConaughey.
Yes, anything you need, Mr. McConaughey. I'm just here to smell the jasmine. You ever heard that story?
That's Bill Clinton.
My Matthew McConaughey sounds like Bill Clinton. All right. That's a little better, y'all. Hey, you talk a little like that. Have you never heard the story about him playing the bongos naked?
No.
It's a true story. Matthew McConaughey the cops got called because he was in his house and his music was just extremely loud. And when the cops got to his house, Matthew McConaughey opened the door to his home, and he had no clothes on, and he was holding bongos. And apparently the smell of weed was just on them, and this was before any of that was legal.
He got arrested?
He did get arrested, and when he was questioned on it, they were like, why didn't you just close your windows so your music wasn't so loud? And his quote was, I had the windows open because I like to smell the jasmine.
Is this not a free country?
I mean, that is the ultimate Matthew McConaughey quote of all time. All right. I love the movie, although the beginning of the movie was depressing to me, and I guess I don't know why, except to say that the idea of the human race going extinct and crops not being able to be grown, and it just felt lonely and isolated and hopeless. And I guess that's entirely the feeling that they were going for, but I still didn't like it. The second and third act really, really caught on and picked up once we got out into space. So I give it a 7.9 out of 9.5 Murphys.
I'll give it a 9.4 out of 10.
Wow.
I think it's a great movie.
Ronald
I think
Jackson.
it's a must watch.
So a lot of actors in it that you know and love. Anne Hathaway's in the thing. Matthew McConaughey, Matt Damon, Michael Caine, and Casey Affleck. I mentioned, amongst many others. The
Timothy
movie is,
Chalamet's first big movie.
Was that his first film?
I don't know if it was his first film, but his first big time Nolan movie.
To create the wormhole, Dr. Kip Thorne collaborated with the visual effects team and created the spherical ball that you see in the movie. Anyway, if you've not seen it, we recommend it. And if you have seen it, let us know what you think in the comments. 615-737-9986. 47 after the hour. We'll wrap things up in a moment. That's Matt Murphy Movie Mayhem on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Have you heard a lot of corporate-owned chain jewelry stores are shutting their doors? So many smart shoppers have figured out that cookie-cutter jewelry is boring. Mediocre service is unacceptable. That's why Genesis Diamonds is having record success. Locally owned, staffed by real experts, warranties and guarantees that are simply unheard of with personalized attention. Case after case of unique fashion jewelry, designer jewelry as well. No attitude, no pushy salespeople, and no inflated pricing games. Simply put, the best in the business at Genesis Diamonds. The world's top bridal designers also choose Genesis. You'll love the laid-back, fun atmosphere. So if you're looking for an anniversary gift, a birthday gift, or just because, my friends, Genesis Diamonds is the place to go. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Don't miss this amazing opportunity. Diamonds galore at Genesis Diamonds. When you walk through the doors, tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Genesis.
Times are tough. Absolutely, I agree. Now, if you need a new truck or a minivan, maybe an SUV, Mid-10 Ford, they can help you out with great selection, terrific pricing as well. Mid-10 Ford, they've been around for 56 years, since 1969, helping people get the vehicle that is right for them. They can help you save $1,000 or more on select Ford trucks. They also offer special financing as well if you need it. Now, Mid-10 Ford, I like to say that they're a one-stop shop. You can buy your vehicle there at Mid-10 Ford. You can get it serviced. They have a body shop as well. So you want a brand new or a pre-owned vehicle, you can check out all of the great deals at their website, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. They offer low-pressure sales, maximum customer service if you show up at their business, 1319 Foster Avenue. This is a family-owned business going back 4 generations. So, yeah, they do know how to treat customers. So let them help you get into your next vehicle. Again, low-pressure sales, maximum customer service. Find them online, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. Let their family take care of your family.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
One final fun fact from Interstellar. I just read this, did not know it, obviously. In the promotion of the movie, Matt Damon, did you read this, that he was not included?
He was not a part of it. It was a surprise to me, too. I did not know Matt Damon was in this movie.
So he was not included in any of the promotion for the film. His name was not mentioned. He did not attend any of the premieres, apart from an article in Variety saying that he was cast in an unspecified role. His role was kept secret until the release of the film. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Reminds me a little bit of Kevin Spacey. Have you seen Seven? The movie Seven? Spoiler alert. If you've never seen it, if you're planning on watching it tonight, I'm going to ruin it. Kevin Spacey's the bad guy in that, and you don't see him until he gives himself up in a very, very famous scene in that movie. Detective, I think you're looking for me. You don't know who the killer is until that scene, and he was not in any of the opening credits. He was not in any of the promotion of the movie. They tried to keep his the actor's participation as quiet as possible.
Well, they did something similar with the new Spider-Man movie.
And what is that, Jackson?
What?
What is that?
They cast the girl from Stranger Things, Sadie Sink. The redheaded girl from Stranger Things.
Oh, I like her.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
She was. Everybody knew she was cast in the movie, but the character she portrayed was not revealed until the movie came out.
That's interesting. No, that's good. That makes sense. You know what? I was confused while you were talking because I was thinking of the chick that was in the mall that was in season 3, I guess, of Stranger Things. That one, I kind of, she's a different one. Yeah, I got you. I almost said something that I might regret because I don't know how old that actress was. And I'm not getting into that. No way, no how. I have missed the movie. The movie is Interstellar. I never got the bot until now. What do you mean you never got the bot until now? What does that mean? The bot?
Kip.
I guess Kip. Well, yeah. I mean, Kip was programmed to explode, right? Spoilers.
Maybe.
I guess. I mean, Matt Damon did that intentionally so that nobody could get the actual data because he was falsifying data to get people to come see him.
So he could wake up from his long nap.
Right, because it was a suicide mission, right? I mean, if you go to a planet that's uninhabitable, you're just going to die on that planet. You're going to go to sleep and you're not going to wake up. Anyway, that is the Matt Murphy Movie Mayhem presented for this Tuesday, normally on Mondays on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What else is going on in the world before we have to get out of here? Age restrictions on driving. I promised that we would discuss this today, and I failed, and I apologize. Folks, I got a lot of feedback from our conversation in the 6 o'clock hour yesterday. And my suggestion is not in any way designed to limit older people from the autonomy or ability to operate a motor vehicle. I am saying in the aftermath of what happened in Nashville, should that not spur a conversation about the number of these types of accidents, especially when people are above a certain age, and maybe the need to have those people take an examination on an annual basis as opposed to just getting their license and then going off like we all do for the next 8 years without any consideration for whether or not your mental and physical faculties have degraded to the point that you can no longer operate that vehicle. I believe it's time that we should have the conversation. This is nothing against your mom or your dad or you. It is ultimately for the safety of the other drivers around you, and sometimes that danger can lead to a fatality, which is obviously what happened in this case. What is that? The watch from the movie? By the way, is that the Hamilton watch from the film? That was a very cool plot device. That's pretty cool. I like that. Only Hollywood can trick us into thinking we can go somewhere else besides Earth. I mean, they call it science fiction for a reason. I mean, I don't believe that there are wormholes around Saturn. I don't believe that. You know what? I don't think we're ever going to colonize Mars. And the colonization of Mars is something that everybody thinks of as just a natural thing that's going to happen. I understand we want to go there, and I do believe that we'll go there, but I don't think for a second that we're going to colonize Mars. Do you understand the billions and billions and trillions of dollars that it would take to colonize Mars? And for what? Just to say that we did? No. I don't think that's happening. By the way, for those asking, I have not tallied the votes just yet. Jackson, have you taken a look at some of the votes in...
I won online, and I believe I won on the text thread.
What are you talking about, Jackson? I'll have to do these myself because I can't trust the man. I do see a lot of Jay Willie votes over there. I see a lot of Matt Murphy votes as well. Not so many for Ken Weaver. But Jackson, you are being well represented. Did you win online? I don't know if I believe you or not. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say that you won this thing. I think it's I think it's fair that you won this thing. So there you go. Look how nice I am to you. You might want to remember that, Jay Willie, when you're ordering later on tonight. You know what you're gonna? We're going to a new place.
We are
very excited. That should be a lot of fun. By the way, before we go, Charlie Hatcher, who is running in the 5th Congressional District. Someone asked me who I was voting for in that district. I'm voting for Charlie. Whether Charlie wins or not, well, I'm voting for Charlie. I think the Trump endorsement will help Andy Ogles considerably in the 5th Congressional District. And maybe, just maybe, the Governor Bill Lee endorsement will help Charlie Hatcher. Don't know if you saw, Governor Bill Lee has announced that he is endorsing Hatcher in that primary race, which is, you know, to a certain degree, unusual. I mean, Donald Trump doesn't shy away from these endorsements during the primary season, but typically Republicans stay away from endorsing fellow Republicans over another fellow Republican. Governor Bill Lee says, nope, not so much. All right, thank you for being here with us today. That's a Tuesday edition. We got a Wednesday coming up tomorrow, midweek edition, and then voting day on Thursday. Very excited about that. Ladies and gentlemen, for Jackson Williams, for Ken Weaver, and the rest of the crew, we so appreciate you listening. Tell a friend or a neighbor about us. This is Matt Murphy speaking and saying, hug your loved ones. Have a good evening. Pass it on. So long, everybody.